They are mad, 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 and I don't give a F. And we're gonna talk about them some more tonight. Let's see. Hi guys on YouTube. Let me change the background here. I'm just setting it up. All right, there you go. All right. Um, what is this? Just give me a second, guys. On X, I'm just finish setting up YouTube. Yeah. All right. So, like I said, I'm really just waiting for Peter, and he needs to bring his ass on because he was the one who wanted to do the damn space. Oh, there you go. Honey, I was about to be like, where you at? Whatever. Because I ain't want to hear, oh, I'm having dinner, drinking wine. I ain't want to hear none of that because you wanted to do the
I'm
space. And I
I'm
said, let's
excited.
do it.
I'm super excited. It is Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. Peace and wisdom and knowledge. Today's mathematics is knowledge, culture, all born
Well, technically,
to.
you should not give today's mathematics if you are not a 5%er. You know that's disrespectful.
It's not because I am an honorary member. I have many 5% of friends that
That doesn't
many
make you
God.
an honorary member.
They gave me my status.
What status?
I'm a God.
Whatever.
I'm a Lord.
No,
Anyway, today's
you
today's
lying on the Lord's Day
mathematics
on Sunday.
is knowledge, culture, all born to power. Um, and I want to say I'm excited for this space. I was just in a space as a rabbi. I have a alt account as a Jewish rabbi from Queens. His name is Boyle Bile Esquire. We were chopping it up, something wicked about speech, and they were trying to say some people were trying to say speech should be regulated, and I said, well, who's the arbiter to determine what speech is dangerous or not? And they said, well, obviously what the speech Charlie Kirk would say would be dangerous. And I said, well, what if it was a old 95-year-old Jewish judge who said, by you reposting a meme of Malcolm X saying by any means necessary you're dangerous, and anybody who reposted it is also dangerous and they should go to prison. How would you feel about that? And there was really no answer. So it was interesting. I love it. I love these types of conversations. I think they're beautiful exercises in intellectual prowess and capacity. And I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited for our space specifically because this one is something special.
I think it is too. You like the title? Sunday Showdown. Is Charlie Kirk the George Floyd for white America? And the reason why I say that, there was some people, honey, in the on YouTube that this one Anna was like, how disgusting to compare a man of God to that criminal piece of ass, I guess POS, I guess piece of shit George. Y'all are disgusting, Dana. No, we're realists because the way that white America, or just say pro Charlie Kirk, his followers and his supporters are mortalizing him, making him into this martyr. Same thing. They're already, was a VP saying he's going to get the Medal of Freedom. What did the Democrats do to George Floyd? You got all these murals and statues in these liberal blue cities, sanctuary cities, and they now they want a Charlie Kirk Day. Um, Medal of Freedom, and I don't know what. It's a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm starting to notice when you talk about him now on YouTube, you're I don't get any views off of him anymore. Like the judge did a video that did very well, but I noticed that they're starting to kind of censor depending on the topic. Some of the talking points or topics people are talking about. Listen, he was a public figure. He could be criticized and he could be praised. And it just shows you how the right, they always want to put free speech, and he was pissed when the Democrats were trying to suppress, especially over COVID. But technically, they're doing the same thing to a certain degree, just a little bit for Charlie Kirk. So just because you're not going full speed ahead, there are there are there are certain tactics that I could tell that is being used to kind of tone down the anti Charlie Kirk, or not even anti, just critiquing or just talking about what you disagree with him about. And some people are flat out making fun of him. And also, people are getting fired from their job because they calling him a racist or whatever. That should be illegal unless you have a no social media policy. So yeah, so I said to you, Peter, you want to hold space. I said, is this a good topic? You was like, yep. And I do want,
You picked a good one.
yeah, I do want pro, I'm not going to say white people, but I do want pro Charlie Kirk people to come up, whether you agree with the George Floyd sentiment or not, speak on it. And anything
Hey, Dana,
else.
can you co-host me so I can bring
Oh,
the
I'm
people up
sorry. I
and
thought I
invite
did.
people?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no
I'm
worries.
sorry.
Let me see what I was going to say. So I think they should be fired. I think that your employer has the right to determine what you. Sorry, I got a phone call. I know you missed me. I think your employer has a right to determine um, if you're representing the company, what type of image and reputation you bring to the company. And I liken it to an anesthesiologist. I'm about to get anesthesia for a major operation, and I find out that you're posting that Charlie Kirk deserved to die. I would have actually done it. I'm celebrating. May he rest in piss. And then you, as the anesthesiologist, potentially find out that I liked Charlie Kirk. My life is in your hands. I definitely don't want that to happen. So I think that it is a good thing. I think that this is only what I like about this is I think we're going to go towards anonymity and privacy more, and you're going to see more privacy tools that are created that allow people to say these things without having the blowback, which is exciting to me. I want more privacy, more firearms, and more First Amendment rights.
So you're saying that you want more freedom of speech.
More free speech, and the free speech is inherently linked to privacy because when you feel afraid to say something, you don't say it. It actually chills speech. So the more anonymity you have, the better you are to be able to express yourself freely because you don't have to worry about being fired by someone showing up at your doorstep
But do
or
you
a
agree
raving.
that people should be fired?
I do. If they're publicly posting things and you can connect who it is to their job, then the employer has a right to get rid of them. If I had somebody who is telling me or telling people they work for my company and they support Charlie Kirk's death and they wish he would have died sooner, and then I'm losing customers because of that, I wouldn't even want to take the chance. I want them gone right away, and I want to distance myself from that because I'm trying to make this bread. I need my Skrilla.
Well, here's
You
the
know what I'm
thing.
saying?
I disagree, and then we could go to North Quarter, and anybody else want to press to come up, please do so. I disagree because when you gave the example of the anesthesiologist, your job, especially in the medical field, is do no harm. So no matter what your personal opinion is, your job is to not do harm. So even if I found out after surgery I'm alive, so he didn't do any harm intentionally to me, and so so it doesn't matter what somebody posts. Are you doing your job and following a policy of your employer, because you're an employee? If your company has a social media policy and you break that said policy, then okay, you should be disciplined, whether it's fired or suspended or whatever. If they do not have a social media policy, you should not be fired. And if a company did not have a social media policy and somebody was praising or calling Charlie Kirk a racist, then the company should say take it down, and they may put them on probation or whatever. But I'm not going to fire you for exercising your freedom of speech and freedom of press. That's taking it too far. And I'm like, who is he?
I
Who
disagree.
is he? Who is he? Who he's not above reproach. When everyone was saying George Floyd was a junkie, a crackhead, a piece of shit, he didn't deserve it, those people didn't get fired. So if
Some of them did. Some of them did.
no, they did not.
That was the whole thing around cancel culture. Yeah, people were getting canceled and losing their positions because of that. Also, speaking out against COVID and the vaccine, people were getting fired for that. So we have examples of this happening. If it what's good
So
for the
if it
goose is
was
good for the
okay, so
gander.
here's the thing: if it was wrong, then why are you, this administration, or this or that, this particular the right wing? Why are you why are you replicating what the left was doing? If you're supposed to be better, if this is supposed to be make America great, so why are you replicating when America was falling to shits?
I'm philosophically consistent because I said you shouldn't be posting anything. Your OPSEC should be on point. You got to look at this like we're in a war zone. It's a war outside. No man is safe from. And we're the last of the Mohicans here. We're the last greatest generation that's going to actually stand up for our
Who
rights
is
in the
we?
realest form.
Who is the we?
All of us in this
You
room.
mean Americans?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And we got to stay on code.
Okay,
We
you
got to
bringing
stay. We got
people
to
up.
wake
Are
this
you
thing.
take? I'm writing people now, so I hope I have them in order. But um, no quarter Gibson, T-Shot, Harriet, FDA. That's the order I have. Let me know if you have something different.
But yeah, that looks good. But Dana, just to put a fine point on that, you people need to realize that with this social media thing and your ability to be heard, you need to take proper precautions and institute operational security. Maybe even create fake profiles that people could potentially find with breadcrumbs. And when they go there and maybe try to do something crazy, then call the authorities and have them arrested if they do something crazy to the fake profile. Set up a honey trap, set up a honey pot for them
So you want
because
you?
we're
So
enter.
you're talking about doxing somebody?
No, I'm talking about you trying to say something and setting up your own fake profile. So when they try to dox you and send individuals to that location that you set up as a fake,
Oh, I see what
they
you're
go to a
saying.
location. Yeah, and you remove lunatics from society in that way and let them go to the penitentiary and they can think about it in the penitentiary.
All right, I'm gonna get to no quarter. Let's get to the speakers. Zone real quick. Zone on YouTube, honey. This is Sunday, not Tuesday. The judge is only on Tuesdays on X Space, so he's not here today. It's me and Peter, and we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be entertaining. Yeah. So no quarter, huh?
Hey Dana, it's good to hear you again. I wanted to point out one thing. First of all, I really can't stand the name of this space because it's just a total breakdown in distinction. And that's what breaks down everything that we face in our lives and society and structure. To compare George Floyd to Charlie Kirk is just so far fetched. It just doesn't work no matter how you slice it. It does not work. So I'll just make that point and let everybody else pontificate on that. But I also wanted to state that uh, at work, you know, when you're hired, it's a lot of things are based on your characters, especially when it comes to how you maintain those relationships at work and stay employed. And that business has, a duty to be sure that they're not putting other employees in a situation with a knucklehead that would think that shooting another man is okay. So I would have to say that yes, there should be some sort of punishment for those remarks if they are in any way condone violence. They have that duty to their employees to protect them. So I'll leave it at that.
Real quick, I didn't say Charlie Kirk is George Floyd. I'm saying is Charlie Kirk the George Floyd for white America, and I'm talking about it from a symbolism. So how,
No, I know what you're
yeah, so
saying.
how the liberals and the Democrats chose George Floyd, and I believe that they set it up for that incident to happen. But even if they didn't, how they used him as the BLM and anti-white or pro-black, and pull him up as some type of symbol or freedom for Black Americans or all America, whatever, with the statues. mortalizing him. So I'm using it as a symbol, not as comparing the two people. They had two different lives. They influenced in different ways. So is Charlie
Well,
Kirk?
one is the total model of a citizen. The other one is absolutely not. It's not that complicated.
No, it is that complicated because you that's your opinion. You're saying that one was an upstanding citizen, whereas another one wasn't, and you're saying that George Floyd was not an upstanding citizen because he was a drug addict. So then, by that means, then I guess everyone who's a drug addict is not an upstanding citizen. But you are entitled to your opinion, and that is why I'll having this discussion, having this discourse, because people who support Charlie Kirk, the right, Republicans, MAGA, whatever, they are mortalizing Charlie Kirk as a martyr.
Dana, can I hop in real quick? So
Uh-huh.
I think here's what I heard from No Quarter. I don't think it's necessarily and only and inclusively because he was a drug addict. I think it's because he was a violent criminal who did violence against women that he's saying this. And this is a criminal who shouldn't even have been, for all intents and purposes, out on the street after what he did, holding a firearm to the belly of a pregnant woman. So I think we could go through the rap sheet of Mr. Floyd and then point to how it was literally a Marxist ideology that propped him up, that allowed for this to happen, to put statues of a criminal to represent this movement, this Marxist nut job lunatic left movement by Patrice Cullors and her other band of merry women to milk and bilk a whole group of individuals so they could live in houses in the Bahamas and laugh all the way to the bank. I think that's where Mr. No Quarter was going. But Mr. No Quarter, please correct me if I'm wrong. I was mildly retarded as a child, and I might not be picking up everything.
Well, I don't know if
No,
I can
you're
help
still
you
a little
there,
bit retarded.
but I don't know if you, I think we all are to some degree. Everything's relative, right? But I just wanted to say that, put themselves in a position to consistently risk his life. In a sense that in an illegal sense, whereas Charlie was doing the work of the Lord, and there was no question about that. And he is a martyr. He absolutely is a martyr. I don't know if you have the description or the written down anywhere, or you can look it up in the Webster. But I'm pretty sure he'd come pretty close, and the other one will not. And I don't. I just I'm gonna be done with this comparison, but I'll let you guys go ahead and hammer that out. But I think I'm pretty confident that there's no comparison there
I'm picking
whatsoever.
up.
There's
I'm
no
pick.
there's nowhere to even make a comparison.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. And one quick point before we go to the next speaker, there's a message from Samo, and this actually highlights what I was talking about privacy. Hopefully, people that's fired and doxxed file a class action lawsuit against these social media platforms. Be careful what you're posting and reposting if you are doxxed. Make sure you use OPSEC and make sure you set up a trust structure to place your assets outside of being able to be attacked in lawsuits. That's why cryptocurrency and self custody is so important, because you could put your assets outside of being attacked by any lunatic nutjob who chooses to sue you because they were fired from their job because of what you said. So, just a little word from our sponsor.
Um, Gibson.
Hello to the space. Hello, Dana, Peter. It's no comparison, like you said, to George Floyd. I don't think you was trying to do that, but the title would incinerate. That's what we are doing. And as a black man, George Floyd was just a fucking thugged out criminal. I knew Charlie Kirk personally. He knew my kids. He mentored them. He took them under his wings. And he did great things. The guy never been a racist, as I can attest to that. I did security work for him also. The guy was just a godly Christian man that believed in biblical principles, and he was led by the Spirit, which makes him a son of God. Any man that is led by the Spirit of God is the son of God. And Charlie Kirk was the son of God. And I put out there, I would pay for one of the statues to go up on a college campus or anywhere, and I would do just that. I don't see skin color. I see good. I see evil. I see right. I see wrong. What happened to that man is disgraceful. He's a peaceful person trying to hold dialogue to the other side very peacefully and putting facts out there. A lot of people got on me talking about, yeah, he was a racist. He said black people was better off in slavery. No, he didn't say that. You're not listening to the whole context of the thing. And in the 40s, yeah, of course, we were better off because we was a family, a tight family structure. We was knitted together. Husband and wife raising their children, attending church. We have strayed away from that. We were better off in some parts of the past than we are now. We have rapidly declined. Downhill, and now everything is about race. It's about race. It's about my skin color, and it makes me vomit. I do not like that. I just see the difference between good and evil, and all of us need to come together as a nation. And Charlie Kirk Day needs to be September the 10th. I personally knew this man. He did great things. I'm a Christian. He went by God's words. If you transgender, call yourself marrying another man, or that's off. That's a no. I speak against that also. It's abomination. That's what it is. So people are leading people away from the Bible, and this is why our nation is torn apart at this very moment because we got unbelievers and we compare other people's to criminals. We seems like my community want to worship criminals. I don't know where we went wrong, went with that, but this doctor in Atlanta, Georgia, which I own business in Atlanta, Georgia. My kids moved from New York to Atlanta. My grandchildren goes to that very hospital, so I made calls to the hospital. Her ass got fired, rightfully so. If you on a job, you working for somebody, and you, especially if you a pediatric nurse, and you talking about his kids and all of them should be killed. This woman shouldn't even have access to her own kids because that mindset says she's depraved. She may harm her own kids. So I stand with employees getting rid of these people that are posting these horrendous things about a non-violent person. They need to go. If you work for me, your ass will be gone the first day. If I heard what you said and it's like that, you fired. I don't care about the repercussion that you think you're gonna have or whatever. Your ass is gone. That's all. Thank you, Dana. Thank you,
And
Peter.
Gibson, I appreciate your 2 cents here, and you've been following me, and or not following me, but you've been around some of the rooms I've been in the last few days. What are some of the things that you've heard? As some of them that I've heard have been take these people out. If someone says something in your face, make sure you pop off and let them know what's really good. So you're seeing individuals that are actually enticing and trying to incite violence, saying you won't say that to my face. I'd love to see what happen if they did that to a seasoned
Heard you.
operator.
The
Yeah.
space blank completely out. It blank completely out. I had to go back to X. It went all the way out of X and come back in. I don't know what happened, but I know you were saying about the spaces that I've been in that you have been in, and what was the latter part of the question?
Can you hear me now?
I do hear you.
Perfect. I was saying that I've heard, and I'm sure you've probably have heard it too, where people are saying you have to watch what you say in person because in person we would spaz out and we would actually shoot the fair one if you said something like that. I'd love to see what would happen if they went up against seasoned operators returning from theaters of combat and tried to pop off on someone who could take their eyeball out of their face or snap their knee in half with a well placed kick using Jeet Kune Do or some other type of martial art. So I think the people who are suggesting these things better take a chill pill because they're going to be looking to cash checks or write checks that their body's not going to be able to cash.
Well, I'm one of those guys, as you know, I'm law enforcement trained, I'm CIA trained, and a lot of more training that a lot of people don't know about. So I'm definitely one of those guys. And number one, if I wasn't one of those guys, I'm a Christian guy and I fear not for my life. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to carry on whether you like it or not. If you kill me, so be it. I'm not going to change just to make you feel good because you know what? If I don't tell you where you error, when I meet the Lord, I'm going to be charged with that. That's the charge that I'm afraid of. If I see Peter error and I don't tell Peter where he error, it's on me. So, and it's on all of us to correct or to state where we err at, but it's up to the individual to take that on. But God say, have no fear of your life at all. And I have absolutely no fear. If I get killed tomorrow, too bad, I'm gone. I'm with my Father. But while I'm on this earth, I'm gonna speak truth. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care about skin color. I don't care what this is what it's about. And we have to get back to that. And the reason we got so much going on, transgender and everything else, because we left the biblical principles. We got our people in the highest power in America supporting transgendering. I got a friend in New York that's a change over from a man to a woman, and to this day hate it, despise and say, I have suicidal thoughts. I see women. I want a woman, but I have nothing that I can do with a woman. I cut my penis off. This is a white girl in New York and regret every single day of doing that and she hate that the people allowed him to do that. So these things is detrimental to us, to society, for us to say, oh, it's okay to be a transgender. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's an abomination. You are not to cut your body. I'm not going to preach to y'all body parts out. But I can tell you, as for me and my family, and I got young children, and they are godly children, they're going to speak the truth, and they have absolutely no fear either. Y'all have a good night because I'm going to have to leave the space in a little bit. Thank you, Dana. Have a
Appreciate you,
blessed one.
Gibson.
Thank you,
Appreciate you.
Derek. Appreciate you. T Shock. T Shock still up here? Yeah, T
I
Shock.
am. So I'm from Minnesota, and Minnesota is a state where we have lots of fraud with our voter rolls, and everything with George Floyd was basically media led. He was a career criminal. Anybody that says he was not, you're a moron. What happened to Charlie Kirk woke up a lot of people with you look who's trying to join Turning Point. But Turning Point USA is basically common sense in the United States. So if you're not common sense, what are you? Are you mentally ill? Um, we basically got rid of mental institutions back in the 80s, but I think we need to bring them back in. And then you just have to have good people that basically run them, that you're not abusing the patients, because these people have mental illness. You can't abuse them. But I don't understand where the country is really going. Um, I'm part of basically trying to change Minnesota. I'm going to meet a potential governor candidate here probably on Saturday in a town 30 miles from me. That is probably the best thing for Minnesota instead of Tampon Tim. Anybody that votes for the Democratic Party, you must be a moron, because they are demonic. They want nothing to do with our country, and they hate you, and they want you to rely on the government. Relying on the government is nothing good. Why would we rely on the government? Who was taught that? We're, I was taught to go to school, get a good job, work for yourself. Who are these people?
Appreciate your submission. Did you land? Okay, T Shock, thank you for your submission. Who was next, Dana? I think we had
I think I was.
I
okay.
have Harriet. Who is that said he think he was FDA? Oh,
FCS.
I have Harriet.
I'm here.
I have Harriet. Then FDA. I don't know. So whichever one.
Yeah,
Uh,
let Harriet go first.
Harriet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, good evening, Dana. Good
Hey.
evening, Peter. I'm gonna just start this out right here. I don't expect white people to value black people's lives. First of all, we already know how things go in America, right? So it's befitting, that it's typical that they're going to say and mortalize Charlie Kirk over George Floyd. But there's been plenty of white folks that are not upstanding citizens, starting with the Europeans when they came here and genocided people groups. groups, ethnic people groups, and still doing it to us today. So, freedom of speech. Um, I've had situations for me speaking on my experience as a Black American Negro freedman in this country. I had someone to call one of my contractors, because I am a small business owner, because they thought they were going to get me fired for speaking out and speaking on my and our people's human experience in this country. So I do know people are attempting to shut us up and have us to align with demonic behaviors. That's where I'm at, right? Because the tongue can create life, it can create death, it can heal, it can harm. And when I hear, especially Black men come up here and say Charlie Kirk should be mortalized and da da da, woo, Lord, the ancestors say, oh my God. Because when someone says that we had it better in 1940, when our Black men were being lynched for being business owners and providing for themselves and their family and their communities. So, you got to look at those per capita numbers. And then on top of that, Charlie Kirk, they've been trying to compare Charlie Kirk to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, come on now. First of all, he doesn't have the credentials, because the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. went to college, graduated college. Also, he was a theologian, right? Then on top of that, he won a Nobel Peace Prize. And he was all about family and speaking up for his people. And then in that, he also, right, his work also helped other people, right? So I'm confused on some of this, that people should lose their jobs now because social media is what? Social. So when did social media become your profession and that you can't speak when you off the clock? But because that sounds like slavery to me. If your boss can now dictate how you speak on social media and you're not representing them while you're out on your time on social media, I have a problem with that. And again, I will state, even with me speaking, and I happen to be the owner, right? I just so happen to be the owner. So when they called the contractor, she's like, the whole recording, she gave it to me. She said, hey, you do as you please. Right? Because I'm a contractor with her. I'm a small business owner. She can't fire me. She wasn't gonna fire me anyway. But just the things that these people are saying and trying to rationalize and illogical beliefs, because the man spoke out continuously against Black Americans.
Most
And
states,
the
most states though
Wait,
social,
are
no,
hold
at
on,
don't
will.
sir,
interrupt her.
hold on,
Don't
T-Shot,
interrupt her.
hold
Don't
on,
interrupt
T-Shot,
her.
hold on, T-Shot. And some of the things he said about Black women, I was highly offended. Highly offended. I mean, because he was generalizing. He spoke about Beyonce and her music. It's not your culture. You don't have to listen to Beyonce's music. It's not you're not a part of our collective. So who are you to speak on what we're doing? And then I want to know what has Charlie Kirk done for Black people? I mean, Black Americans, because he spoke out about against reparations. Again, nothing to do with him, but misleading and misinforming and miseducating and indoctrinating the next group of youth that will be in America in political positions. So we continue this same cycle. So, and then I'm gonna go to one more thing, and I'm gonna land, because what I'm seeing is, and I put it in the purple pill, our ancestors are so on point, and they have left us all kinds of knowledge and guidance. Toni Morrison wrote an article about immigrants coming to America in 1993. I'll post the Time article. And in that, I put in the purple pill her quotes about the balkanization of America. Now we got all these different people coming under the race of white. They could be Czechoslovakian, they could be Polish, they can be German. But one of the things that they all want to do is get in line to destroy us, the Black Americans, right? They know that is their play. But at the end of the day, they don't even like each other. So now we're seeing it play out as well. The balkanization of America is happening in real time because they're now in politics. They're going at each other's throats. And you got the Jews, you got now the Mormons, you got the Protestants, you got the evangelicals, all of this. And then all of them are talking about the Bible and what's right. Well, I do believe in the Bible. It speaks about reparations and restitution for the wrongs that you have done, and you're supposed to make it right. So that's not happening, right? And didn't he talk against that? I'm not finna set up here and act like Charlie Kirk should be mortalized, martyr, or whatever. No, I'm not doing it. And then on top of that, when you look at Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he literally went to the American Psychological Association and in one of his last speeches talking about which way shall the soul go. I posted that in the purple pill because he could see that racism is bad in America. It is not healthy. And everybody wants to deny that it's actually happening right now. Go against the Black Americans, the freedmen, but we're going to come together for that. And then we're going to fight each other at the same time because we want to dictate to the niggas. Yeah, I'm saying it tonight. I'm saying the N word. I land.
Miss Harriet, will you engage me in a very brief interrogatory, 30 seconds? Um, what
Maybe, I don't know. You out here talking about all these people in these different spaces. Now I understand why they booted you out the spaces.
no, I
I
understand.
couldn't understand at first.
They're
Now I
very,
understand why they were booting you
they're
out the
very
spaces.
emotional. When usually you can't win an argument, you seek to
Well, no,
censor.
no, 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 no. This belief that someone that was actually talking bad about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that was assassinated because he was speaking on behalf of his people. He was never, ever violent.
I understand. Let me ask you a quick question because I'm a little slow and you seem very with it. The question I want to ask is in an example, let's say you're the contractor that was hired. Let's say you find out one of your employees is actually secretly a grand wizard in the KKK. He's holding clan meetings on his off time when he's off work hours. Does he deserve to be fired from your organization?
Hey, did they get fired back then, Peter?
I'm
Aren't
asking
they
you.
in
I'm
office right
asking
now,
you now
Peter?
in
Wait a minute,
2025,
Wait a minute.
Miss
Wait,
Wait,
no,
hold on
no,
for a
no. I
Harriet.
second.
wouldn't. No.
Hold on for a second, Peter. Hold on. I'll answer that. No, they don't deserve to be fired because what you do on your own time is your business, and you could be a part of whatever organization. If I fire you because I found out that you are part of an organization that you are not correlating with my business, you're not doing anything harming the public, but I fire you because I disagree with your beliefs and what you do in your own time, then I could be sued. So no, I will not fire that person because then I'm going to be liable with a lawsuit, and you legally cannot do that.
You can do you
But
can
Dana,
do that.
my point
It's
is
called a Pee Wee
they're
Herman
already
clause.
doing that. They're in positions. They're not getting fired. David Duke was a known KKK member. President Biden was known to be with Strong Thurmond. Didn't nobody remove them from office? So come on, man, stop that. I land.
You didn't even answer the question. You would let a grand wizard of the
We're
KKK.
already doing it. It's already happening.
I believe
I could
you.
be
You
working for the
sound
Grand Wizard.
reasonable. You're a
What are you
reasonable
talking
person.
about?
You sound very reasonable. I'm sure everybody here thinks you're reasonable.
I just said it. We're already working with Grand Wizards.
Okay.
We have been working
All
with
right,
racists
I
forever.
want to get to the next speaker. So we have FDA Prime, El Hotep, David. I don't see JV. And so that's the order. Go ahead, FDA.
Dana, what's up? What's up, Peter and
How
everybody
are
Hey,
you?
else?
Mirshawn, how you?
Hey, I'm
What's cracking?
it's all good. Come on, Peter. You've been knowing me long. Say my name right, man. Me
Me
Sean,
Shorn.
man.
I'm
Me
sorry. Me
Sean.
Shorn. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Hey, wow. What interesting times we living in. What interesting times. Dana, I love the title of this. Is Charlie Kirk and George Floyd okay for America? I already posted in
No,
your
I
thing.
said
I
it's
believe there's
Charlie
two
Kirk,
types.
the George Ford
Oh, is the right exact is
for
the
white
right
America, for white
exactly.
America.
And my answer is yes. Okay, my answer is yes. I posted already in your little blue pill, saying that right now we got George Floyd and Kirk, Charlie Kirk, representing both sides of America to the world. You have what we call the dominant majority and the underserved majority. Don't get caught up in color. You got to understand you have the dominant majority, those who have the resources, the power, the position, the status to do and call and manipulate and do whatever they want to do. And you have the underserved majority, those who are victims of those individuals who can do that. So we had two types of people. We first, the underserved majority, George Floyd. No matter what you want to label him or whatever the case is, he is a victim of the dominant majority class that has organized and created, and he's a victim of that. And our children, I'm 65 years old, our children got to witness a man crying out to his mom, with a man who was an officer, person who should have had some self control and not kill that man, okay, by putting his knee on his neck. Should have had. I'm a military guy. He should have had some form of self control. So he died violently against his will. Let's go to Charlie. Charlie, okay, he speaking whatever he want to speak. He spoke about Martin Luther King. I'm only going to talk about stuff about concerning my people. Okay, I ain't talking about anything talking about with his people. I'm talking about how he went to colleges and he talked to children, not their parents, not the elders, and he speak to children about things that they could not reply and answer. I haven't found out one thing that him speaking to an elder and an adult about the things that he was talking to children about. And then he further on goes and talk about women, my women, sisters in my community. And he said some crazy things. My wife, who knows I'm a known conservative, we split it in this household. My wife came to me and asked me, because I'm a strong conservative. I was speaking that the humanity of Charlie should not have been killed. He shouldn't. He should have had the right to say whatever, even if I didn't agree with it. But I was in a space, I think, Peter, I don't know if you was there. I was in a space where I spoke up for Charlie, said his humanity mattered, blah, blah, blah. I did not know who Charlie Kirk was. I had my demographics of people who started telling me all type of stuff about this man. I that day took an hour and a half and researched him. When I done my research, self identification, I did my own as a retired military man, very articulate, knowing how to research on my own. I saw for myself had problems with Charlie. The gentleman just went off talking about speak your truth. I'm speaking my truth. I'm a man that's reborn by wisdom, spirit, and truth. There's nothing that I saw about Charlie that makes me feel that he is you can call him a Christian, but is he a man of God, reborn by spirit, truth, and wisdom? I question that. I'm a believer. I'm not a Christian. I'm a believer. So when I see him attack the transgender, I saw it, witnessed it. He humiliated that child. That ain't humiliated that child. I don't care what you believe about his what I don't care about. He humiliated that child, and his people laughed at that child. See, I'm a person that knows about being bullied. Anytime a child is being bullied by supposedly an adult, that is wrong. And then every one of my people, that young children that looked like me, was asking him questions. He had his people around him and he talking, and they laughed and humiliated them when they could not answer the questions on his terms. I say he never talked to someone like myself, maybe even not even a Dana, okay, to combat some of the stuff that he was talking about. So for those reasons, no, I don't believe that Charlie should have been killed, but I do understand why so many people have problems with him
Wait,
and
Michelle, let
everything.
me let me
And
let me let me say one. Let me ask
and
you
let
one.
me land this before you say, let me,
Well, I want to
before,
go back and
don't throw
forth
me
with
no,
you. Can I go back and forth?
hold on. I know, but let me get this out. Don't throw no rabbit holes on me, man. No, I get you in there. Don't interfere. No, I know those rabbit holes. You want to throw me down? Don't let me land. Then you can interject. Okay. My last thing I'm going to say. I am a proud freedman, proud descendants of American slaves. What is not happening is that my demographics of men has never been talked to, allowed to talk and speak in a manner that we can talk about defending our wives, our children, in our manner as descendants of American slaves in this country. We are just now learning how to do that. If Charlie Kirk had spoke and communicated in the community of people and men and women, I'm his elder. He should have spoke to an elder about the things that was going on, not the children and going to colleges. And then I have my white conservative friends try to tell me that all of a sudden Charlie Kirk is a representation of America, telling me how I supposed to embrace his ideology about his thinking about my culture of people. Wrong. Unless he sat down and talked to people of elders, parents of our culture, then I believe he would be have some merits. That didn't happen. So for those reasons, I found there's a problem with this Charlie. Sorry that he passed away. Would never support that. But I got issues with him. I land.
I appreciate that, Mirshawn. Please indulge me in a brief interrogatory, if you will. Be so kind. I know you will, because you're a
Oh,
great person.
Peter, I've been wanting this for just you for a while. Come on, bro.
I love you. First and foremost, how old is a person who goes to college? What is the typical age when you go to college the first time?
Well, I, Peter, you tell me. I never went to college, so it's your question. You tell me.
Oh, well, okay, well, if that one's too much, how old do you have to be to
Oh,
serve
Peter,
in?
don't play with me.
Well, wait, no,
Peter,
wait,
don't,
wait.
don't, don't, don't throw that at. It's your question. You answer it. You answer it. You know that. Don't
Well,
ask me a
I think
question you already know the answer to.
I
Just
think.
answer it.
Well, I think I could use something a little bit more illustrative. How old do you have to be to go into the U.S. military?
18.
Okay. So I'll answer the first question. You usually are around 18 years old when you go to college. Okay. 18 years old. I don't know. Gosh, I'm so slow. Isn't that
Oh, Peter, don't play with
consider?
me.
Isn't
Don't do that.
isn't that considered an adult?
Uh, Peter, 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 how old are you?
Please, let's stick on the topic. Let's not divert.
How old are you, Peter? How old are you, Peter?
I'm 41, but why do we have to
We're
divert
20
about me?
years. No, Peter.
Why
So,
can't you answer my question
Peter, hold on.
directly?
Hey, Peter, I'm at.
I'm not doing. We're not. This is you. You don't understand here. You don't understand. I asked you to indulge me in an interrogatory similar to a deposition. I don't know if you've ever been in a deposition. You don't get to filibuster and then sidebar on additional questions. You answer the question directly. So the question was very simple. What is the age that you are when you go into college most times? 18. 18 is the age of consent. It's also the age when you become an adult, right? So if you're adult enough to go and die for your country and also go to a college, you're an adult in that you could handle adult conversation. So please spare me the malarkey, the boulder dash, and the hogwash excuses that these were just children. I've heard this story so many times, it puts me to bed. These are not children. These are adults that would be able to go serve their country and die in theaters of combat. So for you to say that he was influencing children, miss me with that, as the children would say nowadays.
If you were taking the time to know who you were talking to, I won a lawsuit, so I've been in a deposition. And the difference between being in a deposition and on here, you have the authority to mute me. But in my deposition, when the attorney asked me a question, I had the ability to to be able, because I had a lawyer there to help me get through the deposition. And anytime my other side tried to stop me from speaking my truth, my attorney defended me. So stop muting me and let me speak the way I want to speak. Unless this is not a true, you just have to turn based on the deposition. So if we're gonna talk about a deposition, I know about a deposition. There's no mute button. There's
You
no
literally, you
mute button.
literally were not answering. You were talking over
No,
me
I'm going
so
to
much
answer
so.
your question. Are you going to allow me to answer the question?
Please, sir.
So here's the question. How old are you? You say you was 40. I said I'm 64 years old. We got 20 plus years of life experience between one another. So you and I having a conversation and you're communicating with me is going to be totally different than you talking to someone your own age or someone younger than you. So I stand by the fact that were they 18, but were they mature enough to handle the conversation of a 31-year-old man who's not been academically had no academic experience at all. Okay, he was just a 31-year-old and self claimed as a white Christian. So I ask you, Peter, what is a white Christian?
I don't. What is a white Christian? I don't know. I don't know what that
What is a
means. What
white Christian man? That's what he identified himself at. What is a white Christian man, Peter?
a man who follows Christianity.
Based on what?
His interpretation of what Christianity is.
And if he called himself white, is based on what? His
The
what?
racial
What?
status. The racial status he puts himself in.
Ah, great. Thank you, Peter. You did very good. So this country was based on this country. I'm taking my glasses off because you've done very good. So this country was founded on white ideology, point of views based on I do believe that Dred Scott said in that thing that this country was formed and created for the development for white people. And no black slave or anyone have any rights to anything based on the development of this country. So was he talking for all Americans as all Americans, or were he talking about only white Christian values, Peter?
That was cute because Dred Scott was overturned.
Yeah, but Peter, we're talking about white Christianity. You already said he's speaking like a white Christian. So who is he speaking for, Peter? He's speaking for who? Did he?
When you talk about white Christianity is not using the Dred Scott time frame or decision to determine what that means. It's viewed through the lens of history now. History now, or what was history, because what was history was just done a few minutes ago. That's history now. The current time of white Christianity has no bearing, way, shape, or form to a Dred Scott decision, much as what Christianity was when Christ died on the cross is in no way, shape, or form exactly what the social constructs of this society are. So please, you're better than this, Meershawn. You don't need to do it this way.
All right, are we gonna let him
You,
have the
you could
last word to move on to the next speaker?
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. Also, that's interesting. So on government applications right now, let me see. Let me remember. Let me understand. On government applications, what is the number one ethnic background, ethnic identity that's on government applications? Oh, white. Okay, white. Oh, white. It's not even in alphabetical order. Okay, it's white. So when you tell
Isn't
me
it
that
Caucasian? Isn't it Caucasian?
Caucasian, white, but you know it's white. Don't you know
Well,
it's
that's
white?
alphabetical. That would be
And
alphabetical if
you
it's
know, but
Caucasian.
I'm talking about white. So I'm gonna land here, Peter. I would love to have a conversation with you. Charlie did not have a proper debate with proper people senior than him. He had elementary conversations with people that he could influence and beat up on. That's why I have a problem with him, and that's the facts. Okay, Peter and Dana. Anytime you would like to have me on this conversation with Peter, I would love to just further discuss this with Peter. Thank you for indulging me. Y'all have a great day.
Meershawn, just one more quick point.
Well,
And
can
my
Much
we
like
name
swing
with
is
back to
me.
him? Wait. Can we
My
swing back?
name is me
Can,
Sean. Me
me,
Sean,
Sean.
Sean. I'm sorry.
can we swing back to FDA when once we go through some more
Yeah,
speakers?
yeah,
The
Dana. I just
people
want to.
have been waiting.
It's a 10 second rebuttal. 10 seconds. So I find it amusing that he's so worried about these innocent minds being, molded like clay. But most of the time, they're being molded like clay by left-wing Marxist lunatics, telling them they can cut their genitals off from fucking grade school. Miss me with that shit.
Okay.
Dana, let me just respond to that real quick. Sir, I have been a conservative. I agree with everything you just said. Absolutely. But why would he go to a leftist institution that has been indoctrinating our children and go there unless he was there for a mission of trying to what?
To win them over, to change
All
hearts and
right.
minds.
All right. We gotta
It
move
was to
on. Like,
promote white
no. Like,
Christianity.
let's move the fuck on. Like, y'all just going back and forth with bullshit. Let's go to Prime.
Well, hey, Dana and
Okay, so
Peter, thanks for
one
allowing me
second. It's Prime, David, because I don't see El Hotep and Reverend Damon. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Prime.
thanks, Dana and Peter, for allowing me to come on here. I hope you guys are doing good. What I wanted to say is about Charlie Kirk is this, because this is coming from someone who's actually, I'm half black and I'm half white. My mom is black and my dad is white. And me personally, I don't view Charlie Kirk as racist or anything like that. I don't think he said really anything even remotely offensive towards black people. And like I said, I'm half black. I have never noticed anything whatsoever. Okay, and
What's half
he
black? Are you Caribbean immigrant black?
Don't cut him off.
yeah.
Let
Don't cut him off, or we're
okay,
gonna
go ahead.
drop you.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. But yeah, but like I'm saying, but what I'm saying here, like Charlie Kirk was a huge influence on me because even though I was already red pilled and I was a Christian by the time I even heard about him, which was in 2021, he helped me learn more and more. I learned about a lot of the black culture and stuff like this from Charlie Kirk because about how the statistics about how there are very few children growing up, black children growing up without fathers in the house. And when I found that out, I was like, really? And then I looked up the statistics and I was like, holy crap, like he's actually correct right here. And it almost kind of goes in with my experience. My dad was around in the house, but my parents were divorced though, and so I actually did have a father in my life for the most part. So I have a little different experience with this because most black kids today grow up without a father in the house. That's just a simple fact, whether anyone likes it or not. That's just how it is. And Charlie, what happened to him was a disgrace. The person who did this, this was a political thing. They did this because they wanted to silence him. And why they wanted to silence him is because he spoke the truth. And this is what I want to get into. People are claiming that I want to answer this right here. People are saying that Charlie is the George Floyd for white people. I'm going to go with, I don't think so. Here's what I think he is. I know you guys are going to laugh in the comments below, but Charlie Kirk is the Malcolm X for this generation. And I don't care what anyone
Yeah,
says
hold on
here.
for a second. I not only am I laughing, Prime, I think that
Yeah,
you're high. I think you hit the crack pipe that's been extinct since the 80s.
really,
Yes. It's
really.
beyond it's not really laughable. Come on, Prime. Come on. You don't believe that, Prime.
Yes,
Come
I
on.
do. Yes, I do.
Okay, so what do you call those? What do you call it when you say something sensationalism on the
Hyperbolic,
trigger? Like, come on,
hyperbolic,
Prime.
hyperbolic.
No, it's not that. Damn, Peter. No. What's the word? But it's like, come on,
Prime,
Prime.
by any means necessary.
You, it's like shock
Yeah,
value. You said that for a shock value,
yeah,
something. You
yeah,
said it for the come
yeah.
on. You do not believe that,
No,
Prime.
no,
You
I
don't.
do believe that. No, I do believe that.
Okay, tell me
Mhm.
why you believe that. Go ahead.
Because, like Malcolm X, he spoke the truth. That's what he did. And someone wanted to silence him because he spoke the truth. That's what this is all about. Okay?
He spoke his truth.
No, the truth.
Of the truth on of what?
The truth about how where America is going, about how black kids are growing up without fathers in the house, and that how and it's disproportionately that there's more crime in non-white areas. That's literally a
So
fact. That's
how does that equate to him being a Malcolm X?
because he's influencing the next generation, and basically he's gonna be viewed as the next Malcolm X. That's how he's becoming a martyr.
Well, Malcolm X specifically, we're speaking for Black America. So
No,
are you
I'm
saying
talking
that
about
Charlie was specifically speaking for white America?
no. He was speaking for America,
Okay,
not
so
white
because
America.
Malcolm X focus was just Black America.
I say I'm talking. What I mean is that he is going to be the Malcolm X for this next generation. That's what I'm saying. Because Malcolm X was what he was for black people, but Charlie Kirk is going to be that equivalent, except it's going to be for America instead, not just one specific group.
So then maybe okay, so maybe you maybe you haven't been smoking the pipe because I will say to a certain degree, I will agree with you how the younger generation, which is why he was going to these college campuses, people who follow him and follow that organization, yeah, they would definitely equate him to Malcolm X, and that's sad and that's dangerous
Yeah,
and that's frightening. Because here's why. Um, so when you look at the trajectory of Malcolm X, because he was not just also talking about the oppression of Black people and what Black people need, it's all about Black people. He was talking about the systemic racism, the white supremacy, and he was talking about Islam and everything. But the difference between the two um is Charlie Kirk was paid. He was paid. He is bought and paid. Malcolm X was not. So and then now no one didn't see that coming with him being assassinated. Charlie Kirk, the way he was talking on college campuses, right? And the person who did it, the person who they caught and the person who did it and the reasons behind that, again, is nowhere near equivalent to Malcolm X because that was the government hands behind the assassins who assassinated Malcolm X because they
in
did
the
not want, let me finish, because they did not want a Black quote unquote leader or influencer to to help lead and guide Black America of that time. See, he was a danger to the FBI, to the government, to this white supremacy structure. He was a danger in their eyes, and that's why they wanted him gone. This person who assassinated Charlie Kirk is no is it well, apparently it wasn't a government, but
I,
honestly, I think technically it probably was. But either way, the person who killed Charlie Kirk and the reasons behind it is nowhere equivalent to who was behind killing Malcolm X and those reasons why. So that is why I would never compare the two. But to your point, you are right. The young people, which is why he strategically would take these debates on campuses where you should engage, right? But he would take those debates not and then push back against the liberals indoctrinated youth to convert them over to his side. And then also he was able to generate a very large influence of young people to sign up and be a part of his organization, because I believe Blexit is a part of TPUSA or whatever, Turning Point USA. So I understand. So my whole point is, I would say you're right, but that's not a good thing, and that's scary, and that is the problem with young people today. because they don't know the difference between a Malcolm X and a Charlie Kirk, that they're not on the same level. But go ahead and finish up.
You were talking about young people. I'm a young person. I'm 23, and Charlie Kirk is like one of my heroes. So yeah, and guess what? Charlie Kirk, like I said, they are on the same level. Like they're going to be on the he's going to be on the same level as Malcolm X because it's because of time. Because Malcolm X, like I said, he spoke the truth, and like he was willing, he wanted to do whatever it took to get the truth out there. So was Charlie Kirk. He was willing to do the same thing. The only difference is that Charlie Kirk was willing to have like public debates with people about it. Yes, they were young people on college campuses. Yes, that's true. But still, though, they were still adults, and he was still having a conversation with them. And like like I said, the thing about college campuses, like I said, they do indoctrinate people, so you don't get all the real and true information. You get a watered down information, or you get something else that's completely false in of itself. And Charlie Kirk was exposing all of that, and he was like I said, he was exposing all of that, not just for white people, but for black people too. Because guess what? There were a whole bunch of white people that he roasted in these debates, a whole bunch of them. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of these people he roasted were actually white. Like I didn't do a count, but like at least 90% of them were white people that he destroyed in these debates. And literally almost every single one of them, not all, but almost every single one of them that tried to literally attack him or wanted to start a fight with him at one of these debates was white. So that should tell you something right there. It's not just about white people.
So let me ask you a question though, because in the beginning when you were talking, you mentioned that yes, he spoke a lot about absentee black fathers, but why did he not speak about absentee white fathers, absentee Hispanic fathers, absentee Asian? Why didn't he talk about absentee fathers as a whole for all Americans, being that, like you said, he was for all of Americans and not just particular race? And that is the pushback that he is getting from a lot of black people, not celebrating his death, no, but the pushback when he was alive and now that he's passed on, to where white people always feel as though that they have carte blanche to talk about the ills and the wrongs of what is going on in Black America. You point out what's wrong and you think you have the answers, but you do not. When in that same voice, you don't point out the stuff that go on in your own community, in your own race. He has not once talked about the plight of absentee white fathers. He has not once brought up the fact that white men are least likely, no, they are more likely to not pay child support because they don't want to. They are more likely to not be active in their kids' life. And Tim Tebow came out with a video this week, over the weekend, and he admitted that educated Caucasian dads are highly abusive. They're the most abusive parent out of any race. Charlie Kirk never spoke to anything white. He always, when he's zoning in when it comes to Black America, it was always something negative that he really has no type of awareness or education on.
Can I respond to
But
that?
you can respond or you can land. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll respond and then I'll land after this. The reason he mentioned black people, specifically black fathers, is because of how disproportionately it is. Like I could be wrong, but the stats I believe for like black families without fathers in the house is in the 70 something percent range. I don't know what these, like I said, I don't know what it is, but it's somewhere in that range. And here's the thing. My dad's white and he never abused me whatsoever. Like, and my mom's black and she never abused me whatsoever. And like the thing is, the reason why the black family, the black father is not around anymore is because of the culture that black people have done and put around them. Like basically through
But wait, hold
the
on for a second, because you just said your dad's white and he never abused you. Well, my dad is black because I'm black, and he never left. He always he was never absent. So you cannot make it about you. We're talking the generalization of a said group, and that is the problem that was the problem that Charlie Kirk had. He was doing it as individuals, and the fact is that his numbers were off. You just made it about you, as if what happened in your household, that is the quota, or that's that is what's going on as in white people or mixed relationships as a whole. So again, just because your father wasn't abusive, that doesn't mean collectively as a whole that white or Caucasian men are not abusive to their kids. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's more white people, so the numbers are off a little there. So that it would make sense why there would be more abusive fathers on abusive white fathers, because there's more white people than there are black people in America. I land right here.
Okay. Well, he should have talked about that abuse. He should have talked about, you know what? All fathers need to get their act together to save America. He didn't do that. He focused on black, and then when he focused on black, he did not know the reasons why, and his numbers were off. And I don't think he cared to know the reasons why, and that's fine. But I really do appreciate you at 23 being very aware, of your ideology. So, and that is exactly why he was going to the college campuses. And let me just say this before I go to David. Let me just say this because I don't have a problem with the TPUSA or the Blexit. My question is, I would never complain about what he was doing. I think that was a brilliant move, and he was an influencer. Where is that for Black America, for Hispanics, for Asians? Where is that for everyone else? I don't see it. So, and then I'm assuming Blexit came out of Turning Point, and I guess that supposed to have been like the black section. So how they incorporated and organized that whole thing. When you talk about the importance of organizing, organizations, that is a prime example what Charlie Kirk being a co-founder, even though he was backed by a lot of wealthy people to do what he's doing, and he never went to college. So
But
yeah.
Dana, that's an excellent point, and I would like to nominate Reverend Damien to pick up his cross and bear that mantle
Well,
and be
Damien
that.
goes after David. So we're going to David, then Reverend
Well, no, well,
Damien.
no. What I'm saying is, I'd like to nominate him as the one who picks up the mantle and does run point for the black community when it comes to conservatism and pushing the message of black excellence. I think he's
Oh,
a wonderful candidate for it. And I'd like to, before we pass the mic, I'd like to congratulate Prime. You sound like a very thoughtful young man. And I hope you continue your educational pursuits and become an even better and greater American. And I would just like to say it resonated what you just said, and even more sad in the comparison was that Mr. Kirk did make his pilgrimage or his Hajj to the Holy Land, and then he died the same as Brother Malcolm made his Hajj, and then he came back
what holy
and he
land did
died.
he make his?
But
What holy land did Charlie Kirk go to?
Jerusalem. He went to the Holy
yeah,
Land.
Is he Jewish, sir? No, he is
What do you mean?
not.
That's the
So he didn't.
birthplace of
So hold on,
Christianity.
hold on. See, and this is the thing. This is the thing to where if you're going to compare to a Malcolm X or an MLK, have your facts right.
Yeah.
The reason why reason why Malcolm X went to Hajj in Saudi Arabia, that is his religion. Charlie Kirk is not Jewish.
The birthplace of Christianity is in Jerusalem. What are you talking about? That he went to
What
that
makes you
second.
think that? Who told you that?
The
What,
Bible.
what do you mean?
It's in the
Where?
Bible.
What?
Yeah.
Dana,
The
you're not serious.
birthplace, the
You're
birthplace of Christianity is Israel.
Yeah.
in Jerusalem. What do you mean? That's where
Why?
Christ was.
Because of what's because of Jesus?
Yes. Yes. Because of the
Dana, you're
Savior.
pulling my
Are
leg.
you serious?
You're pulling
Okay.
Yes.
my leg.
Let's
Dana, come
no.
on.
Jesus was Jewish. So what are you talking about? Jesus was a Jew.
Where did
Yes.
Jesus?
He
Where was
was
Jesus
Jewish.
crucified?
So again, so no,
Where
no.
was
So wait,
Jesus
so again,
crucified?
okay. So listen, and I don't think you have to be a religious expert, but all of you religious people, I think you're just brainwashed because Christianity,
What?
Jesus was Jewish. So
Yes.
Christianity did
He
it
was
come?
king of the
Did it?
Jews.
Did it come? The what?
He was king of the Jews. That was what
Well, the
was written
Jewish
on
people
his
don't think
inscription.
so because they don't even acknowledge him as the king.
Right. And that's
Christians
why,
do. Hold on, because it ain't your turn. Christians acknowledge as Jesus as king, not the Jews who Jesus was a Jew. So I maybe Reverend Damon want to expound on that, but then again, I would definitely want a second and a third opinion.
Dana, let me just address it.
Christianity, I'm not buying Christianity came up out of Israel because Jesus was Jewish, and you're equating Christianity with Jesus, but Jesus was Jewish. But
Dana,
anyway,
Dana, where was Jesus crucified and buried?
Where was he? Because that's unknown. There,
It's literally modern day Israel. Dana, come
modern day.
on.
Okay, so
Golgotha's
and
Hill
that's and
in
hold on.
Jerusalem.
Is that where Jesus rose up from the dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah. But thank you, Peter.
We're gonna. I first
Appreciate you,
listen.
Prime.
You believe what you
Stay up.
want to believe, but
You can go to
that's a whole bunch of question marks I would throw up in here. But go ahead, David. You have the floor. David.
David, the mic is yours. David W.
Appreciate it. Dana, so thank you for the topic.
Yeah.
So just want to give something real quick. I will bet, Dana, I bet you like a steak dinner at wherever you're at, that this time next year, nobody's really talking about Charlie Kirk like that. I think because he just recently passed away, there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of emotion around it. Give it 120 days, give it this time next year. If people start losing their jobs, if the economy doesn't look the way people think it's going to look, they're going to start focusing on other things outside of the fact that Charlie Kirk got killed. You're going to always have a segment of the population that are going to kind of be like how people were about Elvis, or maybe how people were about Tupac at one time. But as time goes on, because life is real and people get distracted relatively easily, once that emotion is no longer behind it, they're going to find something else to do. So I really believe by this time next year, nobody will be holding topics around Charlie Kirk because that's just how things are. It's just less than 7 days after he passed. There's still a lot of emotion around it, but we know how things go. People are easily distracted. They want something new to talk about. So as more time goes on, they're going to find something else to talk about. I don't think he'll have the same impact that George Floyd had because there's a lot of different dynamics around it. Yeah, you're going to have some politicians that are going to try to make him, I would say, a figurehead, but we need to see whether or not that actually has legs. But I just don't believe it's going to have a lot of staying power. Let's say 120 and even further out from this particular time period.
David, I'll take your action, and then we could place the bet on Polymarket using cryptocurrency. I'll put $1,000 on Polymarket. You could take the opposite side, and we could actually put a metric that will see more people coming out for TPUSA. It'll galvanize the base. You'll see a huge red wave in 2026 as well as 2028. The Democrats are toast, and I'll take that action all day, every day, and 6 times on Sunday.
Okay, so here's what you just tried to do. So what you try to do is you try to set the conditions for it, but explain to me what are going to be the KPIs to determine whether or not I'm incorrect or correct.
I'll tell you what, you and I can open a space. I'll hand to God. We will both develop the KPIs. I'll do it even to your liking. You could develop the KPIs that need to be in the metric. We'll invite another person in as well as a third party intermediary, almost like an arbitrator. And how about that? Would you put $1,000 up with that?
Yeah, if you let me develop the KPIs, we can do it. We don't need to do a space. You just tell me how to get in contact with you. We can develop the KPIs.
We'll do
We
it.
don't
We'll
have to
do it.
make a
No, we'll do it.
production out of it.
Listen, I'm all about the bright transparency and cleansing light of the sun. We'll do it in public in a
Yeah,
space, and
yeah.
we can, so
So hold
nobody
on,
could say, so nobody could go back and
hold
say
on one
you
second.
said this.
Hold on one second. So I'm not about that. So what we can do is we can reach out one on one. We can develop the KPIs. We can move from there. The whole production and the entertainment thing. That's not what I'm into.
Oh well, I'm PT Barnum, so I'm going to make some bread off this too. So sorry.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
hold on
okay.
for a
Cool. Yeah, we
second,
can't do it.
Peter. Just slow
No
down,
deal then.
Peter, because I know David, and he's numbers and finance, and he knows what he's talking about. So
I don't. What
it's
is that? Is that supposed to like
meaning
scare me
that
or?
if you're talking about crypto and you talk about money or whatever, and he's saying, yeah, we could do it offline or contact me or whatever. He about his business. He's not about the social media bullshit.
We could do both. I don't understand why we can't do both.
Okay,
We'll
you
set
want
it
to
up
do
through.
both, but he's saying he's not about the social media bullshit, but he's about business. So if you want to do business and make that bet, then do the business.
Well, if I do it regardless off of this, I'm still going to promote it on here, so more people get engaged and we get the poly market up, and then we could sell other things in regards to it. We can monetize. I'm a capitalist. I'm
Yep,
trying to get this Skrilla
yep,
and his bread.
yeah. So again, what you're trying to do, I'm not interested in that. So I'm gonna have
Fair
to
enough.
pass on that one.
I got you, no doubt. All right, who's next?
I mean, no, was David finished?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Appreciate it. Great live. Appreciate it. Hope everybody stays safe, man. Y'all stay blessed.
I thank you, David. Appreciate you coming up.
All
And
right.
yes, I would definitely take you up on that bet a year from now, or even 6 months from now. Nobody's not gonna be talking about Charlie Kirk.
Just a brief note to David. Just a word of warning. Obviously, do what you want, but just letting you know ahead what you're getting into. From somebody who is of this younger generation, and I'm actually older than a whole slew of people that are very much influenced by Kirk because I was actually got into political nerdiness before
Blake,
he
real
became a
quick, are you
household name.
responding to David or are you just speaking?
No, I'm just letting him, get a sense of what he's getting
Getting
into
into
before
as
he
far
thinks,
as
oh, he's,
what? As far as
just
what?
the bet about nobody talking about Charlie Kirk,
Okay, so you're
nobody
rebutting,
like
you're
having
responding. Okay.
conversations a year from now. Well, I'm saying, obviously you can have an opinion, but I wouldn't be so hasty to put money on it.
Blake, it's all right.
And
I'll set
it's
up the poly
because
market. You can get in on it too. We'll all make some bread.
no, it's that this guy, from all I've seen from all sorts of people that I had no clue were into politics, that I spent so much time around in college and everything. I've I spent so long around right wing circles. I cannot, for the life of me, think of a single person other than President Trump himself who is as influential on the right on
All
the
right, Blake, can you just
planet.
hold?
And
Can
when I
you
say the
hold for a
right, I
second?
mean anything
Wait,
from the
Blake,
center
Blake,
to
Blake,
like
can you
actual.
just hold your
Yeah,
thoughts
Blake,
because
you
I
jumped the
have to
queue.
get to a couple other
Yeah,
speakers.
just put your
Yeah.
hand up. We'll get to you.
So
Sorry.
Reverend Sassy Blake Dolo, and I think FDA is requesting to come back up. Go ahead, Reverend Damien. It's Damien, right? Reverend Damien.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Rev, what
How are
up?
you? How are you, Dana?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Hello, Peter.
Good evening.
God bless.
Good to
God
see
bless
you.
everybody in the
God bless
room
you.
tonight. Um, yeah, I wish I could be louder because my daughter is sleeping. So, but just to tackle the question in the title, is Charlie Kirk the George Floyd for America?
White
Um,
America.
I honestly think that question denigrates Charlie's legacy. I don't think there's a comparison between George Floyd and Charlie Kirk. But I will say, since we have George Floyd statues in different places across the country, there ought to be a Charlie Kirk statue in every state in the country, if that's the logic that we're working off of. I don't think. Now, listen, I wasn't a Charlie Kirk follower per se. I respected his work. I didn't really, you know, he wasn't particularly my cup of tea, but I respected the work that he put together. But I don't think that Black people really understand the global impact of Charlie Kirk. I don't think people understand how really big Charlie Kirk is. And now that he's been made a martyr, that impact is going to quadruple. Here we are, what, 57 years after Dr. King died, and his words still ring true, and people are still talking about him nearly 60 years later. Same thing with Malcolm X. I believe Charlie Kirk's work and his impact and his organization will live for the next 100 years. Charlie was so brilliant, whereas just like Malcolm X, he went to college campuses and lectured and debated. People want to say, well, Charlie Kirk didn't have a college degree. Well, neither did Malcolm X. And I've heard nobody denigrate his education or his intellect or his ability to lay out the facts in a argument. Um, I like, well, who was it? Primetime. Primetime made the example that Charlie and Malcolm X. I like to make the example is Charlie and Dr. King.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can
Um,
you hold for one second, Reverend Damien? Let me just insert something.
sure.
Malcolm X never went to college campuses debating with students. If Malcolm X debated with anyone, it was live television with people who was somewhat equal to his caliber. Or, whether it was a black conservative, something
What
to
do you
those
consider
terms.
equal to his caliber? He didn't have a degree, so what's equal to his
Equal
caliber?
to it doesn't matter. And when I said
It
that,
does matter.
hold
What do you
on,
mean it doesn't matter?
don't please don't interrupt me. When I said that Charlie Kirk did not have a college degree, it was not me putting him down. It was me actually acknowledging the fact that the way he was able to organize and do what he do, and he didn't go through a university, because so many people put intelligence on someone because they have a degree. And a lot of times that's not where intelligence come from. So make no mistake about it. When we're talking about Malcolm X, when we're talking about the James Baldwins, these are well-read people who know about statistics, who know about geopolitics. I'm not saying Charlie Kirk did not, but when I hear him or heard him talk about Black America and he would throw out stats, he only would have one reference, and that would be Thomas Sowell, and his stats were off. But the only thing I'm inserting to correct you and others is the fact that Malcolm X did not debate anybody. He did not go to college campuses to debate kids or to talk to the students. He would actually go in there to lecture. It's a difference.
No, I did say lecture.
No, you did not. You said
I
debate.
did. I said debate and lecture.
But he did not debate.
Yeah, he did debate.
No, he did not.
You mean
Where?
tell me? You
What
mean tell me
college did he
if we
go to
look
that
up
he debated
if we look up
students?
Malcolm X debate, no
No,
debate
but
is going
he
to come
did
up.
not go to a university or a college and debate students.
Why is it such an important
It
distinction?
is very important because
Well, no, no, no,
it's
no, no.
important.
But
Hold on, Peter. And this is what I mean. If people want to put Malcolm X all up in their motherfucking mouths, and you have not read one book or watched one documentary or heard none of his fucking speeches, it is very important to make that distinction, because he's not going to debate anybody. And I believe it was Dr. Henry Clark said, I don't debate students. I only talk to my equals. So the fact is that Malcolm X did not debate students the way Charlie Kirk will go to university and debate. If he was debating someone, it was another intellectual 101 on television, not college students. He will go and lecture. Yes, make that distinguishment between the two. It is very important. Because now, yeah, if you want to go around saying, oh, he was a Malcolm X, he's like the Malcolm X, automatically I know off top you are not well read on Malcolm X.
well, you're harping on a point that I'm really not making.
No, I'm speaking in general.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think we all have read up on Malcolm
But
X.
people like, oh, he did debate, and none of y'all motherfuckers up on the YouTube chat can say who the fuck he debated on a college campus. Stop.
He did debate on the college
Who?
campus.
What college was it?
Why don't we go back to it? Let's do some
No,
research.
I
I
don't.
want Reverend
That's
Damien
not the
answer
larger
the
point that I'm
question.
making. That's not
What
the larger
college did
point
he
that I'm
go to,
making.
Reverend Damien, and debate a student?
I don't have that up top. I never
He
said
didn't.
he
He
debated
never went to a
students. I
college
didn't
to
see you're
debate.
making a point that I didn't make.
You just said he did debate, and he
I
did not.
said
Oh
he
my fucking
debated, but
god!
he that doesn't mean he debated students. I said he went to
He
colleges
never
and
went to a
lectured
college and
and debate.
debated, sir. He went and
Okay,
lectured.
Dana, respectfully, you're wrong on
He
that.
lectured. You can't even
You
tell me
you
where. If
you're
you
wrong on
say
that.
All right, we're,
Oxford, he never went to Oxford to debate. He
Somebody
went
can
there
do a
as
simple
a
Google search
guest
right
to
now and
lecture.
find
all right,
Malcolm
we're
X
splitting hairs.
debated.
Rev,
But I
Rev,
don't want to
No,
hang on
we're
yeah,
that
not.
go.
We're
point.
not. Wait,
That's
hold
not
on for
my
a
larger
second.
point.
Hold on, because I'm gonna give you the floor, Reverend Damon. But the reason why I'm when it comes to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, people like that. No, I do want people to get it right. I hate when people throw out sound bites that are inaccurate. He did not go to a college campus to debate. He was invited to Oxford to lecture. It was James Baldwin who went to Oxford to debate, and he debated William Buckley. He never went to a university to debate anyone, Malcolm X. He
Dana,
always go and
wait.
lecture.
Shaq G just put it in the comments. Yes, Malcolm X debated college students on several occasions, particularly during the early 1960s when he was a prominent spokesperson for the Nation of Islam. He was known for engaging in intellectual exchanges at
Who
universities
the
where he
fuck
discussed
wrote
it.
that?
Shaq G, come and be heard, sir. I think Shaq
Where?
G's a
Wait,
member.
no. Where he got it from? Where?
He put it in the comments.
He
Shaq G,
put
come up
what?
and
He typed it himself.
no. I think he chat
Oh my.
GPT'd it.
He what?
But
He,
Yeah,
Dana, may I
exactly. Yeah, again,
intercept
I don't
Dana
fucking
just to
chat
say something?
GTP, honey. I study him. He didn't debate on a college campus. Because
Shaq G,
someone
come
go to
up.
a college, wait, hold on. Because somebody go to a college campus and talk, that makes it a debate. He went to lecture.
Shaq G, we need you. We call upon you for the community to come up and be heard,
Chat,
sir.
first of all, fuck a whoever with a chat. Like, get chat GTP. Get the fuck up out of here with that. And that's what I mean. Like, y'all want to go hard for Charlie Kirk or whatever. And that's why I put fucking George Floyd. Because y'all want to sit up here and immortalize him like he was some god, and he wasn't. Y'all can't even get the shit right talking about Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. So what the fuck?
Shaq G, come up and
A
kick
chat
Shaq G.
GTP, you put this shit in chat GTP. That don't mean it's correct.
Shaq G, kick up. Kick up, Shaq
Well,
G. Come on.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm gonna mute up. Go ahead, Reverend Damon. Go ahead. Daughter sleep, and I know you can't really, but go
We
ahead.
get spicy in here. This is spicy chat.
No, but
No,
sometimes,
no,
Peter,
no.
a lot of shit
Just
that come out your mouth be ignorant as fuck.
I'll yield for the moment. Come back to me.
Let Shaq G please be heard. What did you find, Shaq G?
Who?
Dana said it's
Wait,
my turn.
hold on for a second. It is sassy term. I don't. Who you said? Shaq.
Yeah, the immortal Shaq G. He's a big.
I
He's
don't give
no
a
joke.
fuck who that nigga is, and if whether he white or black. You said when you said that motherfucker did a chat GTP, nigga, sit your ass all the way the fuck down. Go ahead, sassy.
But Shaq G's a big homie. Look, he's
I
got
don't
the
give a
the
fuck who
Mac
he is.
10
I just said
with
I
the
don't give a
silencer.
fuck. I just said I don't give a fuck. Go ahead, sassy.
All right. Well, all right. Peace to the room. Good evening. Woo. Good evening. It is ignited in here. Yes, and peace to the room, host, Peter, everybody.
Peace, Miss
All
Sassy.
right.
I love you. I love seeing you here.
All
God
right.
bless you.
Oh, and before I get started, I notice you have a black hand when you raise it, Peter. You know that's not really you. But anyway,
I'm Sicilian
so,
Moorish. I'm representing
okay.
my Moorish side.
All right. And even I'm thankful for the Reverend being in the room, who probably is very knowledgeable about the Bible. That's all I wanted to say about him. But I don't know why you did that, but I don't care. Sunday Showdown is Charlie Kirk, the George Floyd of white America. There's always been someone that people want to uh, mortalize, like, make them some kind of god with a small g. Charlie Clerk, excuse me, I'm asleep. He promoted Christian faith, right? But yet a lot of his talking points were about black people for some reason. I never heard him talk about white people, and actually, really, I knew who he was, but I never paid him any attention. So he says he operates in Christian faith, right? That's fine. The KKK promoted Christianity too by burning crosses on black people's, on our black ancestors' yards. All right. So the motive operandi of why he was assassinated by his own kind. I look at Charlie Clerk, he was an influencer, right? So it's easy to, but he always disparaged black people. He gave incorrect information about black fathers not being in the home. The CDC, and I quote, did uh, oh, it went away. I was on hold for so long. That's okay. But the CDC said black fathers are the most active in the children's home. Black fathers are, right? And it's always something of black against white. It's always amazing. For example, when Charlie Clerk died and they thought a black person killed him, anybody but white, and they went and was threatening HBCUs. Just it didn't make sense, for them to be threatening HBCUs. And I think the way, well, he is the late Charlie Clerk was um, influencing young people who are easy. Most of them, not all of them, are easy to be influenced by disparaging black people, in my opinion, with incorrect statistics, incorrect information. And then they want to put him up with our ancestors that have gone on. Of course, Dr. King, Malcolm X, which I won't really speak on them, but I want to speak on Charlie Clerk and the white on white crime and how he was uh, the reason. This is allegedly, they said that he was gunned down was because he asked for the Epstein files. Allegedly, I really don't know. And I could have tried to listen to him. I prefer to listen to Tim Tebow, who's is more of a his Christianity more aligns with my beliefs, Tim Tebow, and maybe he will take up the mantle and begin to tread ground on United States soil, and he won't be as um, divisive, and he won't be disparaging about other people. Lastly, he was an influencer, Charlie Clerk, and I'm landing. But he did gain a lot of momentum with a lot of the young people, you know. But and then I did want to comment on um, Jesus Christ was crucified in Jerusalem, Golgotha's Hill, and he was a Jew, and Christians, others, we were engrafted in. Okay, so that the Jews and Greeks, that includes all of us, we were engrafted in. But he did come first to the Jews. He was rejected, the stone that the builders rejected. So, and it's easy to really talk about a Bible class and to learn all of this. I won't go into detail. I'm just glad I'm still up to share those few thoughts with you. Let me see what else. Tim Tebow. And I had to write down what I want to say because I will forget. Influencer gained much momentum allegedly. Okay. And that's all. He had nothing positive to say. It's unfortunate that he was gunned down like that, but a lot of our people have been gunned down like that and didn't get sympathy. They did not get like a moment of silence or flags at half staff. So it's kind of like uh, like because he got a lot of favoritism, and so that is I don't believe that's right. um he's resting, and so that's it. That's all I wrote down, was to share. We don't know the motive operandi of why he was gunned down, allegedly because he asked for the Epstein files, but only the killer can tell us that. And that's it. I'll land, and you all carry on. Thank you, Dana and Peter, for letting me speak. That's all I want to say.
Appreciate you, Miss Sassy. And Dana,
All right.
I want to bring this up real quick. This is from Miss Linda Lee Tarver, who comes in the space a lot. She actually posted 3 different examples of Malcolm X's campus engagements. This one's from Oxford Union, 1964. Less than a year before his assassination, Malcolm X participated in the debate at the prestigious Oxford Union, addressing students from the UK, Africa, and the Caribbean about global racial equity. Another one, Morgan
It
State
wasn't
College.
a fucking debate. I know he went to Oxford. See, I know all that. And this is why I'm saying it was not a debate. It was a fucking lecture.
Wait, there's more. Morgan State College,
More
1962.
what?
Morgan State College, 1962 in Baltimore. He participated in a debate with Professor August Meyer at Morgan State College, University of
Okay,
Buffalo. 19,
dumbass. I said if he debated someone, it was of his fucking caliber. He didn't
No, no.
debate students. So what is it
Yeah, he
that your
did. When the
he
retarded
did.
ass
students
don't
had questions,
understand?
He,
they
What is
debated.
it that
Jack,
your retarded ass don't
wait,
understand? When I
why are
say he
you
did not go to colleges and debate students because
saying
they
it?
were below him, he would lecture to them. If
Dana,
he debated someone, it was either someone, another person on his level, or he was slightly above, but it was not fucking college students.
Dana, is it possible that you could be wrong?
No, it's not. When it comes to this, it's not.
All right, well, Dana's the
So, and no,
foremost authority
hold
on
on for a
Malcolm
second.
X. All
Hold on
right,
for a second.
that's
I'm
it,
gonna tell
Shaq
you
G.
why. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not fucking wrong, nigga. I'm not wrong because I read and studied him. I'm not wrong because I watched documentaries. I'm not wrong because I know when he debated someone whether it was opposing him, but they were still on his level. When you talk about prestige, he taught and lectured to kids or to students. That's the whole fucking fact. I don't give a fuck what Chat GPT would tell you or article, whatever the fuck else you want to bring up. Because if somebody say where he debated, the person who he debated is not a fucking student. So if you want to talk about him in a correct terms. Don't try to fucking belittle him to a Charlie Kirk as if they was on the same fucking level. And that's what I'm talking about.
You heard it here first. Don't even try to bring up any
No,
contradictory
don't
information.
do it. Don't do it. And like I said, no, I'm not wrong. So you think because you find some shit on fucking the internet that says the word debate, that's a fact? And I'm supposed to say, oh yeah, it's a possibility I could be wrong. Fuck no, I'm not wrong.
Dana,
And
I
half
call,
y'all motherfuckers don't even read, number
Dana,
one. And wait,
I,
hold on, because this includes you too, fucking Peter. Half y'all don't read shit, and you damn sure ain't read shit about Malcolm X. So have fucking several seats.
Dana, I
Matter of
yield.
fact, I don't
You,
want nobody coming up here bringing up Malcolm X's name in the same sentence as Charlie Kirk. How about
Dana,
that?
Dana, I yield. You are master. I yield. You are my master.
Peter,
I
please,
yield.
all that buffoon bullshit. You know that shit don't fly with me. Stop. You go on these other fucking ghetto ass spaces and you do that clown show shit. Don't come over here with that with me. You already know what time it is. And it's
Uh,
Blake time
I
to
don't know
speak.
what time
It's
it is.
Blake turn. Blake Dolo
Wait, can we go back to Rev? He never got to
and
land his
Brian.
plane. He never
Huh?
got to land.
Who?
Reverend Damien never got to land.
I yield to Rev.
Reverend said that we gotta come back to him. So when he
He's ready. I
finishes,
think he's ready. Rev, you're ready, right? You had a little mic
he's
cap. You're
muted.
ready. Rev, are you ready to go?
No, not yet. Come
Yeah,
back to
I'm
me.
pretty.
All right, all
Rev
right,
know how to get off his mic and say, I would like to be next. Now
all right.
It's Blake, Dolo, and Brian. Yeah, Brian.
I'm not ready. Dolo can go first.
Go ahead, Dolo. Is Dolo still here?
Yeah,
No.
I'm still here. Do you hear me?
Oh,
Dana,
go ahead.
so you skipping all the way around me. I'm gonna just go ahead and say goodnight right here.
You wanted to swing back no quarter?
No, I'll be good. I'll be good. I'll hit you up next time. Thanks for the space and the mic, and
Yeah, because you was the
you
first
take
speaker. So,
yeah, you take care of yourself. All right.
all right, you too.
Okay.
Um, go ahead, Dolo.
Yeah, I didn't have much to say really. It was just about the TPUSA. I don't think that'll stay around honestly because Ben Shapiro is said to be running it now, and the whole Israel script and all that. So I think that's going to crash and burn. Honestly, I really doubt that'll last a year. And the poly market, can you even do poly market in America? Because I've been trying to do some bets on that. It keeps blocking me out saying it's not available.
Use a VPN.
Okay, that's all. All right. Yeah, I yield the mic. That's all I have to say.
Brian.
Yeah, so Mr. Kirk, to me, well, not even to me, from what I look and what I see, from my point of view, he's just a normal guy. He's into politics. He used to be with Candace Owens and Elon Musk, if I'm not mistaken. But if Ye, if he was around Ye, then of course he may have been around Elon Musk. No, he was just a normal guy. He had points that touched upon topics that people didn't really want to talk about. And yeah, that's just my viewpoint on Mr. Kirk. He's a regular guy, just like us.
That's it.
Yeah.
Blake. Blake. Are you ready, or I'm gonna go to Harriet if you're not.
Yeah, all right. So just a couple things. One is, so while the stuff he's become most famous for is the debates on college, a lot of that was in the TikTok era. There was a number of other things he did, including interactions with you know people seen more as his tier. Like I think there was a famous Politicon debate with Kyle Kalinske in 2019. He's gone on with all sorts of other talking heads and stuff like that. But regardless of that, the much of the issues of the questions of comparison and stuff like that have to do with two issues. One is just the nature of an analogy, which is, you compare two things that aren't the same. And obviously they're not going to line up. But you try to find some characteristic, one or more, by which that's an important characteristic that highlights something about the one thing in its relationship to the other. And so of course there are going to be differences. If like obviously if you were to uh compare anybody from one era of history to any different, they all have different ideologies, different religions, different races. So yeah, not everything's going to line up. So I don't think we need to have every characteristic line up when we're comparing, say, Charlie to some other uh influential or controversial figure who what was suddenly killed. so I don't think that's going to be helpful for the conversation. What is characteristic though about him is that he is a non-office holding figure. The vast majority of political assassinations you can think of, like if all of us spent 10 minutes thinking about every single political assassination we could think of, probably 90% of them are office holders. You know, the examples there, some of the examples in the 60s were not, but going back centuries, and you like all the US presidents, for example, RFK was going to be president. And that's a big reason why people are thinking about comparing him to certain figures from the 60s, because Charlie, technically, although he had the president's ear and indirectly had power that way, his in his office, he had no more actual legal power than I do as a normal citizen. And that's why it's hitting so close to home to people, because it's a guy who decided to do things and had certain opinions and beliefs and got other people to agree with them and got popular and started talking a lot, and he got too big and then they killed him. That's sort of the arc of the life, and that is why people are thinking about him in comparison to these other figures. So the question isn't the ideology or what he fought for. That's the question, because different people fought for different things, obviously. um, it's sort of the scale, the emotional impact he had on the people to whom he related, and things like that. And because of that, the scale of Charlie is kind of hard. Even I didn't fully realize it until last week, because I didn't follow him as closely as I do some other figures on the right. But in retrospect, maybe Jordan Peterson, if it was 4 years ago, but he kind of went off the deep end, would have been like, if you asked me 4 years ago, maybe Peterson would have been more influential than Kirk at the time. But in the year of our Lord 2025, there is not a single figure I can think of, a right wing figure. And when I say right wing, I mean anything from uh influential, like a political influencer, anything from Liz Cheney to Nick Fuentes. That's what I mean when I say right of center. None of these guys, nobody in there can I think of with the same scale of impact in this country and around the planet. Not Sargon of Akkad. um Joe Rogan's complicated because his influence is more lifestyle. When he gets into politics, like that's less influential on his part. Obviously Peterson not as much anymore. Not Ben Shapiro, not Michael Knowles, not the entirely Daily Wire put together, not Candace Owens, not Tucker Carlson, uh, no single head of state of any other country. Right wing head of state, Viktor Orban, even Jair Bolsonaro, if he was still in there. None of these people are as influential as Charlie was in affecting and shaping the minds of these kids. And part of that was because these kids feel like they have to change what they say, what they write in essays to be able to get grades from their college professors, because they feel so discriminated against. Now, people can argue about whether their perceptions are real or fake, but that's how they felt. And these people felt like Charlie was their big brother. And yeah, imagine seeing your emotional big brother get shot in front of you. So because of that, it is hard to overestimate the impact. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be around for a century, but I'm saying the scale and impact and ripple of this thing will be so profound that it steers the ship in a way that will not dissipate.
I agree with you, Blake. And I would say there's a famous saying I like. It's called, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. And that's what's so exciting for me.
Real quick, if I can interject, has white America ever had somebody speaking on geopolitics actually assassinated or killed in front of a crowd of people? Has this ever really happened?
Yes,
Probably
That's what a lot of people
JFK,
Robert
want
F.
to know.
Kennedy.
JFK Jr.
Robert F.
Yeah.
Kennedy, right? When he was
I think he's
speaking.
asking a
I mean,
non-politician.
but were these people actually like in front of a crowd speaking?
Yeah, Robert F. Kennedy was getting ready to give a speech, and they knocked his muffin top, blew his muffin top back, as the kids say nowadays.
Well, I don't listening to some. He's on college campuses, and he didn't really talk a lot about geopolitics, Charlie Kirk, to the students, because you got to understand these students. they don't even know geopolitics or very little of. He really focused on a lot of the DEI, LGBTQ community, Black community. He focused on superficial. And this is what I'm saying when people want to compare him to, high intellectual people such as Malcolm X, MLK, and others of other races. I would love to have seen him debate someone on a level of a Shahi Bolzan. He would never. He would never, because I don't he
But
I don't think
you
he
should
has
check
the
out what he
he
actually.
doesn't have the deep in-depth knowledge, Charlie Kirk, to debate someone on that type of level. So yes, but that what he did was he stayed in his lane with organizing, and his niche was college students, to engage on college campus with the students, and that is part of going to college and getting that college experience. So he was breaking up the and trying to break up the indoctrination that was going on all throughout your school years now, and then they're already indoctrinated by the time they go to college, which is why a lot of those kids that will be debating him was so much in shock, because here's a person with a completely ideology, and he's giving you a platform to push back and to exchange ideas. That was his niche, and I definitely give him credit for that, and that is needed. That is needed. So he was very unique in that aspect. But do I put him on a Mount Rushmore of fucking intellects? Absolutely not. Or game changers when it comes to, you know what, a little bit when it comes to public policies or elections, because at the same time he's creating more people to vote Republican or, far right. But it's a breaking point with me and Charlie Kirk. He didn't reach that pinnacle just yet. Maybe he would have. I don't know. But
But Dana, just as one more point of order, Shaq G, the real G, put another one, an academic journal up of reputable documentation of Malcolm X debating college students at academia. So I just, we have to do some more
yeah,
research
so
here.
I was going to Shaq next, and Peter, I don't know what the fuck you trying to prove here, because again, he never debated college students. He will go and lecture college students. If a college student asks him a question, he will answer it. He was not debating. He wasn't doing what Charlie Kirk was doing. When he did debate, he debated other intellectuals, whether it was other scholars, whether it was public political figures. He did not fucking debate college students. I don't care if the American Journal, because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sat in front of a congressional committee and said your CDCs and the NIH and all these other journal shit or whatever, that establishment institutions that we have, they're all fucking liars. So please miss me with that bullshit, nigga. You're not well read on Malcolm X. Neither is Shaq. Because if a
All right.
motherfucker gotta
And
go to, if you gotta go to Chat GPT, sit your ass down. Now, Shaq, you are next.
Oh, okay. Now I'm shout out to the room.
And
Hello
I
to the
did say
host.
I wasn't talking about
Peace,
Malcolm
Shaq.
Okay,
X.
okay. Hello to the
Peace, Shaq
host.
G.
Hey, hey. Hello to Peter. Now, this first part is not part of my submission. Right now, in the year 2025, all of the information that was once put in books has been transferred to the internet. So we're not living in the past where we got to go to a library or dig through crates, right? So now I'm gonna continue. What I want to say is that uh in the vein of respectability politics, which got black people what we got today, to go against someone that you disagree, we would be better to not lie, right? Now, we know Charlie Kirk is in no way, shape, or form similar to George Floyd. He is definitely closer or closely related to the life of Malcolm X. I'm not saying he's equal, but it's closer. They both mobilize youth. They both preach their message at colleges. They both debated professors and students at colleges. They both were.
See, now the nigga want to come up here and be fucking retarded.
No, I just
Because
said we got to be honest.
first of all,
This
I
historical
said,
fact.
and
I,
because
I don't
this
like
ain't no
Charlie.
fucking
I'm not a
republic
fan.
or democracy in this space. I'm like Trump. This is a democracy until I say it ain't no fucking democracy. I'm Donald Trump right now. I'm President Trump. And I said, don't even bring up motherfucking Malcolm X because none of y'all are not well read. And I'm going to include you, Shaq, because the first thing come out your mouth was, well, all the books are transferred online. Nigga, you're wrong. And you know why? Because if you don't know the Dewey Decimal System, motherfucker, you don't know how to do proper research to get shit online. And a lot of that shit that they transfer online is not even fucking accurate, that they retract a lot of stuff. So again, if you're not familiar with the Dewey Decimal system in the library, you don't know how to do proper research online.
Dewey Decimal
So
was a tremendous system,
so the
tremendous.
so hold on for a second, Peter. So for you to try to slide in there, because I guess you want me to cuss you out, or you want me to be like, no, I told you, don't even fucking bring up Malcolm X. Even if you think Charlie Kirk is similar to Malcolm X, we're not talking about Malcolm X no more. What is that you don't fucking understand?
Yeah, but Dana, why are you being so authoritarian with Shaq G?
Oh,
He's the
yeah.
only dude.
Didn't I just say I'm Trump? I just said I'm President Trump right about now. I am the
Oh,
fucking authority. You
I
have
see you.
you have freedom of speech and freedom of press until I say you got too much of that shit. And please don't act like Trump don't pull that, because he does. Because they pulling right now with the Charlie Kirk content. And I
Tremendous content, lot of content. Dana's like Trump now.
but the thing is, whether you black or white, people talk about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King so fucking loosely, and which is so disrespectful. Haven't read not one goddamn book. You're not read at all. Y'all niggas don't read. You go to TikTok and you listen to sound bites. You're not even on my level.
Dana, do
You're
you
not.
revere Malcolm X? Do you think he's is he like a like God level?
Who?
Malcolm X.
A god? No.
Oh, all
Absolutely
right.
not. And he would tell you he's not a God. Why? Because he believed in a higher Almighty and Allah. So he would never make himself out to be a motherfucking God. And that's how I know people like you think that shit is a joke. And I don't play with Malcolm X or MLKs or any of our prominent figures. I just don't. And it's not a joke. And that's the problem. Everything is a fucking soundbite. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't even know what a book or a library smell like. When's the last time anybody stepped into a motherfucking library? Y'all need to go to a library and speak to a librarian. Fuck
I was there the other
online.
day. Actually, I'm studying for the LSAT now. Actually,
Elf said, you got a college degree?
come on, Dana, don't do that.
I
Don't
don't
play in
think
my
that. No,
face like
nigga,
that.
you've been busy
Don't
selling
play in my
drugs
face.
half your
Don't
life. So
play in my
stop.
face
All
like
right,
that, Dana. Come
I
on.
continue? Can I continue,
Actually,
please?
no, Shaq, because I said don't bring up Malcolm X. And I'm
Let's
trying to let
let's
you,
give
and I
Shaq
did
G a
let
G
you,
pass.
ride with it until you wanted to be a smartass and say he did debate students. Nigga, you let online educate you.
Dana, let me give him a G pass. Can I use my G pass for
No,
him? I
because
want to let.
because I said do not bring up Malcolm X.
Damn, Shaq G, I'm trying to go to the table to
Well,
have a sit
I
down
said
about
because
this. But
listen.
let's not bring
If
them
you're
up.
telling me, if you come off talking about all the books in the library are online, that means you don't know how to do research. That
But
means
look,
you have
when it
not
comes to
read not
research,
one
let me
thing
tell
on
you
Shaq
something.
Malcolm
G,
Let me
Shaq
X.
G,
tell you
move
about
on, move
research.
on.
You have
Shaq G,
not
move
done
on,
Look,
it.
move
You
on.
are not
it's a
well read. You are not well educated in Malcolm X. You haven't watched the documentaries. You haven't read none of his lectures. You probably can't even tell me the name of his organization and what was the objective of it. You have no knowledge of that. So here's the thing. When I say don't bring if when I say I'm President Trump right now, yes, I'm President Trump in an executive order. You are not allowed to bring up Malcolm X in this space. Anybody, your
okay, okay.
privileges are
You
revoked.
you do know there is a
Shaq G, how
separate
about this?
listen,
Shaq
it's a
G,
hold on
listen.
real quick. It's a separate browser. Unlike the regular Google browser that's used for educational purposes, that routes to like edu sites. You know that, right? So
You
I'm
just
just letting
type
you
in that
know.
you just type
No,
in
no,
.edu
no,
nigga, and
no,
it's the
no, no,
same
no,
thing.
no. I'm
He's
not
talking
talking
about
about
I
that.
can't
That
I really can't Shaq. I don't Shaq. I can't.
Shaq
I
G, we're gonna have to put a pin on this. I'll open a space and we could go into the Malcolm X issue. How about
I
that?
can't.
We could table this.
Well, you could go in because it's funny how you talking about some fucking 2 hours to midnight. But Peter, you deliberately want to now open up a space and talk
Oh,
about
look,
Malcolm
look,
X
look.
I'm
I don't
I'm
and
got.
all
West
your
Coast.
Hey,
fucking
I'm
look.
West
I don't
Coast
want to
now.
talk
policies.
about
You
Malcolm.
can
Can I
have
talk
at it.
about Charlie right quick? The thing about Charlie is that we can't act like he was not an intellect, right? He didn't. You speak of him as if he was like someone trying to pass off counterfeit money at a corner store. He was actually someone mobilizing the youth with conservative values and also inundating them with Christianity. Now, I don't got a problem with that. I got a problem with him being racist, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie on him. You know what I mean? Now, I could say he's a racist piece of shit, but I'm not gonna say he was a dummy and that he didn't mobilize the youth for conservatism. And it was a powerful thing that he did to say that you can't compare him to certain people, and I'm not going to say names, just many leaders, to say that you can't compare him to certain people when certain leaders were drug dealers in past lives, prisoners, even, no college degrees. I would like to say, I believe that maybe Kirk may have been just as well read as certain leaders that we held high up. You know what I mean? Now he
Oh,
ain't
yo, I
fucking
heard
with
him.
Martin Luther King now. He
Yo,
can't
I
do
heard him.
he can't do shit with Martin Luther King. But when you start dibbling and dabbling and pulling out other people, he can fuck with some of them. Now I'm gonna land right there. I didn't want to use no profanity. I was trying to be proper. But shout out to you, Dana.
Real quick,
You got it.
real
Oh,
quick.
Shout out to Shaq
What's up
G,
with
man. You're a real G.
what's up? Real quick, what's up with all these black people tap dancing for Charlie
I
Kirk?
said I
Why you
don't
guys
fuck
do it?
with him. I'm not gonna lie on him. Okay. You know,
But I mean,
we can stop. I guess we don't do respectability politics no more. I'm not gonna lie on them though, but maybe I need to update my
I mean,
software. I guess we lying on people now.
hon- honestly, anytime I watched him like have a debate with an actual intellectual college student, he would get destroyed almost every time. Most of the debates he had that he won were with people who you could tell didn't know what they were talking about. So when people start tap dancing for him, I start to think that maybe you don't know what you're talking about respectfully, because
Shaq,
you can only watch
Maybe I
one or two
don't, but
videos
I'm
and
not
see
gonna
that.
lie on them. Is what I'm saying now. Y'all know he closer related to other leaders, and George Floyd wasn't no goddamn leader. That Negro was just the
Well,
guy that got mixed
nobody
up.
is saying George Floyd was a leader, though. And the only reason why I have
Yeah,
his name in the title is it's not I'm not saying similarities. It's more so how the general public or certain political organizations symbolize George Floyd as some hero. So it's more of a symbolism, not an actual qualities, comparing their qualities, because they're two different in that
yeah,
aspect.
I
So it's
know,
more
and
about
Shaq,
you know
symbolism.
who you know who Kirk
I
is more
understood why
similar
you
to.
did it,
You
Dana.
know who Kirk most similar to, even if it's 30%
No,
similar.
I don't. I know
We
Kurt is more similar
honestly,
to Kurt. And
okay,
here's
his
another
life and
thing.
death,
Here's another sidebar. And
mobilizing the youth,
I'm gonna go.
speaking at
Hold on, Shaq.
colleges. Yeah.
Hold on for a second, Shaq. I'm gonna swing to Harriet. Then I'm gonna go to Isa's new speaker that came up in here. But
wait, Dana, can I just ask Shaq G one question? Shaq G, I see you favor a Mac 10 as your automatic. What do you favor as a
Well,
handgun? Are you
it's a semi-automatic. Yeah,
okay, what do
semi-automatic.
you well, you can make it fully auto, but what do you favor as a handgun? Are you a 45 guy, ACP, or
Uh,
subcompact?
40
40
subcompacts
cal.
that I
Okay,
can carry around. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Yeah.
All right,
I appreciate you.
I'm gonna head out now, guys. I gotta
You
get.
know, easily hidden. You know what I
all
mean?
right,
I like. Oh,
I want
I
to go to
see you.
Harriet.
I see you, Shaq G.
I want to go to Harriet. She had her hand up for a minute, and then we're gonna go to Isa.
Yeah, I think we started out the space where people were upset that we were comparing Charlie Kirk to George Floyd, and somehow someone came in that was now Dana. You already know I'm checking lineage, so I will respect your space, but there are humelinated beings that are not black. but they are claiming to be black, and that's identity fraud to me, because black is created in America as a social construct. It specifically deals with the freedmen. And I apologize for that, but I like to check folks. So with that though, that's why we got
Well, who are you
into
talking
this.
about? You talking about people that came up here to speak?
Yeah, the biracial.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, but
well,
it's past. I
there
just wanted
have
to.
FBA.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be freedmen
Why not? Why
I,
couldn't
I,
they be
yeah,
Freeman
yeah.
on the?
because we're full on both sides. We're freedmen both sides.
I
We're
never
not by
heard of that.
ethnic half of
I never
anything,
heard of that.
right?
I gotta disagree.
Yeah,
Sway
I
me,
mean, but
sway me.
ha-
You making some false
Oh,
hey, hey,
accusations
hey,
here.
hey, hey,
Well,
I'm speaking to
yeah,
Dana. I'm speaking to
hold on for a
Dana.
second,
Point of
FBA.
order. Point of order.
I'm speaking to
Yeah,
Dana.
because like you could be, if one parent is Freedman and the other parent is white or the other parent is Caribbean, you still have a Freedman lineage.
No, no, you don't. You only have one freedman parent, and that's not an entire lineage. We have freedman lineage on both sides,
But
full.
nobody has
And the
that
only
completely.
and let's say if we had received what was due to us way back when, it would still be the same situation, right? You could be half by ethnic or whatever, it would still come through your parent. It wouldn't be that you're just have a parent that's a part of the lineage. And I don't agree with Dr. Darity, and everybody now got that in their head, but we've really got to really look at some things, because in history, it is, we cannot repeat these same patterns in history. When you go back and look at these situations, it has been the bi-ethnics that turn to one particular side and overcome the natives, right? So look at the native tribes right now. But
I
anyway,
always just real quick, Harry.
okay.
Calling you goddamn Harry, girl.
You can call me by my
I
name.
know,
I
but
don't
I
care.
see it.
I have
I
my
know,
trail.
but it started confusing me. But yeah, so here's the thing, though. My son, his father lineage is Jamaican, and I'm foundational black or whatever. You will probably find some other shit, but when we talk about my father's side, my mother's side, yeah, it could go. It'll go back to slavery. It'll also go back to indigenous or what have you, and sprinkling some European, but it's black. I always say my son getting two reparations check. He get one from CARICOM and he gonna get one from here. We ever get one from here, so he's gonna get two. So he's it's so just so because mom is quote unquote freedman and dad is not. He's still part freedman. So any benefits coming through freedman, he is entitled to it by way of me.
By way of you. There you go. You have to take on that. The collective does not,
I don't
right?
understand.
The collective does not have to take on the bi-ethnics. The collective, the majority of the collective are full freedmen. So
So
then
they're
the
gonna write a
parent that,
policy saying you have to be full freedman.
yeah, you will be descendants of the
But
formerly
mother and
enslaved.
father has
Right.
to be freedmen in order for you to get freedmen benefits.
Yes,
But
yes,
then
yes.
nobody's not going to get any benefits because what's going to happen is our government is going to dig up in everybody's lineage and say, "Well, look, you got some European because your great grandmother is half Irish or had an Irish husband."
You're misunderstanding.
So
You're misunderstanding. The freedmen went through an ethnogenesis here. We are amalgamated. We're not by ethnics that are now maybe a part of a new a group, a part of our freedmen ancestry,
I don't
right?
understand.
They were not you. So you just said your son is an extension of you, but there's no Jamaican freedmen here in America. There are no
But he went okay.
Bahamian
So yeah, but
freedmen
that
in
has
America.
nothing to do with the freedman here, and he's not that claim his.
Right, right. But I'm saying we don't have those. We didn't have. If they had done what's supposed to have been done, we wouldn't even have this type of conversation, because it would still be your child that would get the heirs from you. It gets the heir inheritance from you, not because he's freedman, right? Because he's not full freedman. You're full freedman. You get the inheritance.
Am I?
So then
So
you
what
have
is
to
it?
take
What's
care
the
of
what
your
makes a person full freedman?
your both of your parents or your whole lineage
My
is
whole
freedmen.
lineage, but everybody lineage and everybody lineage
So
is
that go
not it's
so
not
that would go
completely
back to like
a straight line. So
well yeah,
listen,
it is
okay, so here's the deal. On my mother's father's side, we always say this. On my mother's father's side, you could trace back to a slave plantation. On my mother's side, maybe some slave plantation, but it's native, it's Irish, and maybe some slave.
right.
So
But that's the part of the but Dana, that's a part of our ethnogenesis on this soil. That's a part of the we are amalgamated people with various admixtures of some of us have native tribes, some of us have Caucasian or national different white nationalities, European nationalities, and then some of us also have various African tribes. That we've been the native black people in this country the majority of the time until the late 90s when the influx of the others came into this country. So we're this is the problem we're having right now with our reparations
okay, so here's my
because
question, and because I'm pretty
okay.
sure this is not what you were saying, but just for my clarity,
No
yeah,
but,
just for my clarity, because I'm a little confused. For my own clarity, because my son, his father is of Jamaican lineage, and I'm of the lineage here, Foundation of Black American. You're saying he wouldn't be entitled to any freedmen benefits?
correct.
Okay.
And I have a grandson that's
Now,
bi ethnic
just a
too.
little
I mean I have
FYI.
a
Well,
grandson that's bi
we could
ethnic
put a
too.
pin in that, but just FYI, I completely disagree with you on that. But this is I don't. This is not the topic to discuss it. But that is completely in disagreement because whatever benefits coming out of Jamaica that has to do with black enslavement, oh, he gonna get that. So
Yeah, but
and
we
I,
won't get
because
that
it's
right.
probably,
We
and you know
you
what?
wouldn't
And
get
hold
it.
on for a second. Hold on for a second, Sweeney, because it's probably going to be some Jamaicans saying, "Well, because your mother and you were born and raised in America, and your mother is American, you're not really a full Jamaican." Because they say that now. And no, he getting no month. He getting that reparation check over there. He getting that CARICOM. He getting all those benefits over there. And so let's just put a pin in that. But go ahead and say what you was going to say about.
But Dana, I understand what she's saying because the mafia used to be like that. You used to have both parents traced back to Sicily to become a made member, and then they diluted it, and you had all these other fugazis coming in and getting made, and that's where all the rats came from. But I digress.
Y'all was just fucking rats, period. Because the full blooded Sicilian was ratting. So, Peter, please, Peter, you burnt out tonight. You trying to say that half Sicilians are the rats? No, all y'all motherfuckers are rats.
I've been
Lucky
smoking on that loud.
Luciano, rat. All y'all was
I
rats.
was I was smoking on that loud pack earlier, so
I
that
think
could be it.
so. I think so. But go ahead, sway me.
Okay. Yeah, Dana, that'll be a good discussion because we got to have that discussion. But I wanted to say that Peter, you talk about 18 being adults, and yes, we know that our federal government has said you're 18, you can come fight for this country. But brain development for young adults is not fully done until 24 years, and some of the studies go all the way to 30. So just want to highlight that. And that's why I have not been a proponent of juvenile, of the youth being in prison and then, charged as if they are adults. But
Should
with
the
that,
government push the age of consent as well as the age to fight in the military to 26?
most definitely,
Okay,
I'm not
all right, fair
opposed to
enough.
that. At least 21, you're legal to drink at 21, right? Not 18. So with that though, I want highlight the hate crimes, right? So, and I keep hearing everyone talk about, oh, he's far right. Charlie Kirk was far right, and he was pushing a lot of rhetoric and propaganda against the freedmen, the Black Americans. And so, with that, I looked up the hate crimes, right? Of course, we lead Black Americans, hate crimes, it's against us majority of the time. And the offenders are white. The majority now 2024 hate crimes against Black Americans was 1,216. The offenders were white and they were 1,867. And then there was some offenders that was Black. and they were 150, but they didn't say if it was religion related or what. But that's the offenders for black, okay? And we don't know if that what black that was. Again, we're ethno aggregating, delineating, because now we got people here that are identity fraud. They're speaking in our spaces and should not be speaking in our spaces. So I understand why, Dana, you're getting very upset with some of these people not knowing what they're speaking on, but they're comparing. And I wanted to say, I'm not going to say the name, but we know the great ancestor also went to prison, and he came out a different person, a changed person. So change can happen, right? So I wanted to put that out there. But another thing that I am not understanding is the Christianity piece, because and this is why I have stepped away from Christianity. Because some things to me just don't logically add up. And you were pointing that out, Dana. I have traveled the world and I have been to certain places and I've seen certain things that made me really think twice about Christianity and some of the beliefs and the values that they are saying that we should address or what is it, demonstrate. Because I've seen, and then another thing is, you have the oldest Bible in Ethiopia, and you have Ethiopian Jews, but no one recognizes them. So I'm gonna just land it there.
Thank you, Swamy. I'm just gonna say Swamy, or unless I'm gonna call you Miss Tubman, Harriet Tubman. But I appreciate you, Swamy. I'm gonna go to I say, and then we have Big Hawk and Re-Ups. Go ahead, I say.
Hey,
How
Dana.
are you?
Hi, everybody. First thing I want to say is you can't deny the impact of Charlie Kirk. You have another racist, Tommy Robinson, who had like his Million Man March in Britain. And this is what I want to say to white people. You can't be mad about immigration. You can't be upset about the Indians and the Africans coming to Britain and the UK. You can't be mad about Americans, South Americans breaking the border down to come into America. You should have stayed in Europe. You should have stayed in Europe and you wouldn't have those problems today. You did not help the world. You did not improve the world living standard by raping and pillaging everybody. France today is finding out that they're really a third world country without exploiting African resources. Today, while we trying to turn Charlie Kirk into Malcolm X, Charlie Kirk was basically cheering on the infertile fears of white males. Your sperm count is low. You're not able to reproduce. Elon Musk is warning you that you will be outpaced by the rest of the nations of the world. And for a lot of people, that makes them angry. Americans are the biggest culture in the world, but Black Americans are the biggest cultural influencers in the world, no matter what space or time. When you attack the statistics of Black Americans, you try to act as if you didn't enslave Black Americans. And here's the thing about that whole, he's so moral, he's so Christian. Like the sister just said, and a lot of you don't realize that the Mayans was fine without the Bible. The 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 Kansu people, the South African people, they was fine without the Bible. When you came, you said, and I'm gonna quote some of this. Y'all can go look this up for you all who are so moral. If you buy a Hebrew slave, he is to serve for only 6 years. Set him free in the seventh year, and he will owe you nothing for his freedom. If he was single when he became your slave, then married afterward, only he will go free in the seventh year. But if he was married before, he became a slave, then his wife will be free with him. If his master gave him a wife while he was a slave and they had sons or daughters, then the man will be free in the 7th year, but his wife and children will still belong to his master. But the slave may plainly declare, I love my master, my wife, and my children. I would rather not go free. So the Bible, this is Exodus 21, 2 through 6, ordains slavery all throughout the book. You go to Leviticus 25, 44 to 46. However, you may purchase a male or female slaves from among the foreigners whom you live amongst. You may also purchase the children of such resident foreigners, including those who have been born in your land. You may treat them as your property, passing them to your children as a permanent inheritance. You may treat your slaves like this, but the people of Israel, your relatives, you may never treat this way. Again, that's Leviticus 25, 44 through 46. The nation of Israel, the Zionists, they don't even see themselves as white. They see the white people as goyim, animal people, less than human. And when Black Americans when I hear Negroes try to adopt the Bible as if it's some moral compass, when it was the Ku Klux Klan who used John 3 and 16 to burn a cross in front of our house, meaning if you don't accept Jesus Christ, you can die. But the people of the world did not know Jesus Christ if it wasn't at the barrel of a gun and their resources being stolen. So Charlie Kirk was simply being a racist, saying we have the right to neocolonialism. We have the right to kill the people of Palestine. He was propagandizing and evangelizing against black male crime data because we, again, are the biggest cultural influencers. So our music, our style of dance, our way of dress, everybody imitates that. And he was trying to blame America's moral and social decline on Black Americans, but he forgot to look in his own house and also look at white statistics and look at the population of white males who outnumber Black males when it comes to, and like the one guy Peter said, because they're white and it just happens to be more of them. However, y'all still do bestiality. Child molestation and child porn is unique to that demographic of people. You can't go a week or two without seeing white women in the news with an 11-year-old or 13-year-old. This is something that if I was a non-white Charlie Kirk, I could go and debate college students and say, look at the white people. Look at this bad data set. Look at how terrible the civilization is because of them. So he wasn't promoting anything good. He was just promoting the fear of white genetic survival and the fact that white males are losing sperm count and not able to reproduce. So he was saying, as soon as you can, get you a woman, get married, have children, or the Negroes are going to outnumber us. Did you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear.
We
And
heard your folly loud and clear.
Okay. So if you listen to other races like David Duke and others, there is nothing wrong with you preserving your nation or your nation's way of life. But once you establish your civilization, if that next group of children are not willing to hold that civilization up, it's going to crumble. Period. It's going to be toppled by other civilizations that are also competing for world dominance. And while Charlie Kirk was worried about Black Americans, the Indian population came into America and said, we're going to build big giant Hindu monkeys in Dallas. We're going to build a big mosque, a whole Islamic city in Sugar Land, Texas. And now, because you took South American labor force and made them the backbone of your country, and now your president is saying we can't do that anymore because they're also bringing in fentanyl that can kill 70 million white people, and we act as if white people are not having their crack epidemic Like we don't need Narcan in every major city because white people are strung out on fentanyl, strung out on cocaine, and it's coming in through South America because Americans are the number one drug consumers. So it's a matter of supply and demand. Trump is saying, I'm gonna put an end to that because I'm trying to salvage what little bit of white race we got left. And Charlie Kirk was hit in the neck by a young white male who was raised in a strong white household with a husband that taught him the Second Amendment, and you have the right to practice with your rifle. You should be able to snipe a deer. You should be able to snipe a bird with this AR-15 and this scope. And with his skill set, he probably went to one of those debates and was highly offended because from what they're saying, emotionally, he might have been homosexual, interested in a man who presented as a woman, and knew from the foundation of his family that that was not an acceptable relationship. He took out the main proponent. That ain't got nothing to do with black people. Nobody's questioning Nick Fuentes and asking him why he is making groypers anti-Trumpers. Nick don't even want to get married. He don't even like girls. But he just as racist as the rest. And in America, I'm gonna say this to you, Dana. In America, it's okay to be racist. We have the freedom of speech. And if the freedom of speech don't work, we got the Second Amendment, the freedom to our gun. I have the right to protect my speech. The government, because even Benjamin Franklin came here as an indentured servant. White people would tell you all the time they came here as slaves first, but the difference was their skin color. They could run away from their bondsmen. They could run away from their indentured servitude, and they could go work somewhere else, and they can go be an apprentice somewhere else, and they can build a business and be prosperous. Black people didn't have that. You was bound by your skin color. And then the Jews came in and said, you cursed in the Bible, the Hamitic curse of Ham, you're going to be the servant of all of these people. And the Bible only 6,000 years old. Science tells you that Africans' matrilineal DNA, mitochondrial DNA, is at least 200,000 years old. So this Bible does not make you a moral superior. It's wisdom in the book to teach you moral guidance on some things. But if you read it, Numbers 5:19 through 22, read that. You got a whole
Excuse me,
recipe for
host
abortion.
Dana, your co-host Pete said, "Can you remove him? Because the app crashed for him, so he can come back in."
But I'll
Oh,
land there.
Peter said that.
Yes, yeah, you
Oh, let me. Where did he say it at? Did he message me?
no,
Now I see the
he
request.
okay, yeah.
Uh,
Sorry for interrupting that crazy lady.
no, thank you for interrupting. Who?
And let me go further about the black
Wait,
men
hold
who's
on.
been
Did you say
supporting white
crazy lady?
supremacy. Yeah, that's what he said. Let me go on
Yeah,
about the
please don't come in
Negro.
here disrespecting
Let me go
speakers.
on about these brothers that's accepting white supremacy and imperialism and world domination and claiming to be so American, while at the same time the white people is pointing out to you that
Shit.
you don't have equality. You still won't get reparations. They would rather pay Jews $54 billion a year to commit genocide and eventually take over Africa before they even consider a reparation to you. And instead of fighting for your reparation, you fight for a white woman, you fight for white talking points, you fight for white racist talking points about black on black crime and violence, while not citing things like the Iran Contra affair and how crack cocaine came to America. You won't talk about how domestic violence has destroyed black relationships and how black males are killing black females, sex trafficking black females, making black females
Nah,
into
keep
drug
clapping,
addicts.
Harriet.
Keep it.
Hold on for a second. Re up. Nigga, this ain't your space, and everybody got to stay on their mic until it's their turn to speak. Please don't interrupt. Yes, she. I say we'll be wrapping it up when she land her plane, but don't get off your mic, and please don't call women up in here out their names. That I don't do. You want to call another man out? That's between you men. Don't do that with women up in here.
But
I
because
didn't
if you
You call
watch
disrespect
her
anyone.
crazy.
and Harriet, and they will, because they will not, these so-called conservatives, these brothers who don't understand geopolitical systems and how they have no power in them. They are upset at the black woman. They're mad at their mamas. They're mad their mamas raised them and fed them and did the best that they could, and their father wouldn't acknowledge them. And so they went to the streets and they looked for brotherhood there, and they went, it couldn't find it there, and they found Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk was giving them some male talking points that they had never heard before, because they haven't been around black men. And they would lie to you and say that black men are very involved, etc. But if that was the case, we wouldn't need black men parroting Charlie Kirk talking points. You wouldn't see people like Kanye West under Nick Fuentes talking about slavery was a choice. These type of black men are traitors. They have always been. Harriet Tubman had to carry a gun for a reason, because some would get cowardly when it was time to cross that bridge, and she would say, you're either going to have freedom or death. There were some patriots in America who stood on what America was founded for, which was the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, the freedom to own your own home and your own firearm, etc. And so Negroes like Crispus Attucks was some of the first people to die. But for our people today, right now, black women, listen to these brothers. It's a podcast every other show. Charlie was demonizing black mothers. Because you a single black mother, the crime rate is high. He don't say the NBA and the NFL is filled. He won't tell you how good single black mothers have been for the labor industry, and how they've been able to keep us out of the home by keeping us at work. And now we're the most educated demographic in the country. They don't talk about that, but they want to demonize our womb and our sexuality. And black men
Most
are
enrolled,
promoting
respectfully.
that as well. Black men like these and these other so-called moral Christians, if you read that Bible, if you really read the words of that Bible, it okays genocide, it okays abortion, it okays killing babies, it okays slaughtering people for their land, etc., etc. And I'll land there. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Dana,
But
can I address 2 points you made?
yeah, and
First,
then
very
after you
quickly.
address her, we have Big Hawk, Re-Ups, and JV.
The first point I want to address is that the black culture is the dominant culture throughout the world, and that Charlie Kirk was going against it on stage, saying it was degenerate. Who owns the entertainment and media companies? The small hats, right? They own all of it. They were actually promoting and telling black performers to engage in degenerate behavior on purpose. So I reject that black culture is degenerate. Black culture is excellence. That's what it is. It's educated. It's high class. It's not a culture that should be looked upon as a degenerate culture. And the only group that does this are the small hats to promote an ideology to destroy a society so they could take it over. Second one, you said the fentanyl killed 70 million white people. I just did a basic cursory search.
I did.
Fentanyl death.
That's not what I said. I said the Department of Justice just captured a fentanyl amount that was coming into the country that had the potential to kill 70 million people. They just did a big drug bust, and it was coming from the cartels, and they pulled the drugs off of a big um, makeshift semi. It was a bunch of kilos of meth, and there was a bunch of kilos that would help. And also in Ohio, they just arrested 22 Chinese nationals and others in Ohio for helping to bring in some dope, fentanyl.
Okay,
So
so
that was the
you
point.
sound
Not that they was
uh,
dead, but the
uh,
drugs were coming in and they had a potential to kill. But sorry to interrupt you.
okay. You sound well read, and you probably also know that because of the Supreme Court they're getting ready to overrule birthright citizenship. All the people that you mentioned that were imported under the Biden criminal regime are going to be thrown out of the country. And I don't, and you also probably know because you are well read that AI, automation, and robots are going to be taking the place of all the manual labor. So I think we're going to be just fine for the next few years, although we are going to be totally surveilled in a panopticonic society. All that labor and stuff, and the people that were imported illegally, they're going home. So it's gonna be a totally different day in the sun here, and I'll land there.
All right. Big Hawk.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what this space was about, but it's about Charlie Kirk, right?
Did you read the title?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I was like, but I was in a couple of spaces and they're talking about some other stuff.
He's drunk, Dana.
No, I'm not drunk. And please, sir, while I'm speaking, can you hold on your mic, you little you ain't no damn pastor.
All right, Big Hawk, come
You a
on. No,
damn
no, no,
devil.
no, no personal Hawk, come
No
on, no personal attacks.
personal
I want to hear what you have to
attack.
say. Hawk, come on,
Oh
Hawk.
no. Oh
You have a
yeah,
lot to
I
say.
just remembered. Oh, he's the very person that I want to talk about, him and Charlie Kirk. For this sick demonic man who called himself a pastor and called himself a shepherd of the flock,
I got shut down when I was making personal
and
attacks.
Yeah,
it was
Hawk, come on, man. Stick on topic,
Wait,
brother.
hold on for a second. Because I said don't disrespect women. Now, if you come in here and y'all want to men call each other names, y'all defend yourselves. I don't want women being disrespectful. I made that clear.
I identify as a woman.
Oh, you did, Reverend. You identify. Okay. I
that,
guess we
but
all got. I guess we all
like
got jokes past midnight. But go ahead, Hawk.
It's probably a double mute. Go ahead, Hawk.
yeah, these double mutes catching. You know what I'm saying?
Forgive Peter, he's
Uh,
from Jersey.
anyway, for a man to defend, and I'm not gonna say any names, right? You know, but you get the gist. For a man or woman to defend a man that said that Andrew Zimmerman, a man that drove his car, was on the phone with the police and had a gun on him, was stalking a 15-year-old boy with a bag of Skittles in Arizona, no weapons. For that man to have stalked him, called the police, and it be recorded, and then for Charlie himself to say, "Oh no, it was the other way around." Uh, and Trayvon Martin stalked Andrew Zimmerman. For that sick, psychotic, mental imbalanced person to say something like that, so detrimental to a people of all the things that they've suffered behind if white people and their racism. I don't care what I know exactly who you are as a black person. And it revealed a lot for those who crashed out. I can understand if you go, oh well, I don't want them to come over here, so y'all just don't say nothing. Okay, I could get that. People holding their tongue and celebrating, and it ain't right to celebrate a man's death, because I didn't like that women were celebrating when what's his name died, but he said some things about women, and women said some things about him, so it was a back and forth, so they might,
You mean
but
Kevin Samuel? I'm sorry to interrupt. Kevin
yeah,
Samuel.
Kevin Samuels, but it is what it is, but at the same time, this man, for all his disingenuous talking points, and then him being funded and led by a bunch of group of fucking Nazis who are trying to disguise themselves as patriots, is quite disgusting. These motherfuckers came over here during the
Lay
Nuremberg
off the F
trials.
word. Lay off the F word,
Oh,
please.
excuse me. I'm from the ghetto, baby. So we let it all hang
Yeah, but
out. But
this is
look,
this is not a ghetto
and
space.
I'm sorry, Dana. You know what I'm saying? Love your space. You know what I'm saying?
Pretend you in the suburbs right now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I'll be watching you on
Big
YouTube.
Hawk,
But
we're
look,
we're in Alpine. We're in Alpine, New Jersey now. You got to pull up a little bit.
okay. Alpine. All right. And now, see, I ain't been to New Jersey. So, anyway, For him to sit there and say that disgusting crap, and for people to defend that, and defend him, I can understand them not saying anything about him dying, because ain't no coming back from that. But the man was, I'm gonna just keep it real. The man was an absolute puppet. He's not a George Floyd. He's not a martyr. This is a fake outrage. Everything is so scheduled and so fake and phony, and all the crying and sobbing and weeping is just ridiculous. These people didn't even love the man. He won't even be a thing in 3 weeks, if you ask me. For the things that he said, the disingenuousness that he put out there, he could have really rallied and got people together. But of course, these are Nazis, came over during, what they didn't do? They didn't lock and kill them damn Nazis that was over there experimenting on the Jews. They brought them over here. And now they over here. And now we got both of them. And what the crazy part is, they claim to say that, you know, they not white or whatever. But anyway, that's another whole thing. I just don't like the fact that a lot of these black men is kind of jumping off the bus and hitting the pavement, rolling. You know what I'm saying? Over Charlie Kirk, knowing that that man is disgusting for what he said about Trayvon Martin, and that alone right there. Because when I heard that, he was sitting there talking about uh 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 all of these white dudes who killed people unjustifiably. He was sitting there saying, "Oh, nope, that's not a problem. That's not a problem." As soon as you get to Trayvon Martin, oh no, he stalked him. I said, "Oh man, this is sicko." And
Big
then he
Hawk, I
mother,
appreciate your opinion, man. That's really I love it. Very
yeah,
very
yeah,
well put. Yep,
yeah,
very
yeah,
entertaining.
yeah.
Good.
All
No,
right. We have re-ups.
Great evening, Dana, Peter,
Hey.
co-host.
Great to see you.
Yes, sir, my brother. Um, Charlie Kirk. Yes, Kirk is. They got their George Floyd. I was saying that actually last week. I was actually celebrating it and just hoping and praying that it was nobody from my community, where 1.5% of the black people there, I mean, of the population in Utah is black. I was quite happy. But then, of course, my community just can't chill. You get crazy people. I'm not going to say any names, saying egregious things. And then now you get it to where they're threatening HBCUs and all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, but to the point of him being there, George Floyd. Yes, he probably said some flagrant stuff, but it's no different, and that's why I would compare him to say Malcolm X, because he was a little
Uh oh.
radical. Yeah, yeah, he was radical.
Uh oh.
That's the forbidden
Oh,
word in this space. We can talk
Malcolm
about
X
it as
is
well,
long as you want.
verboten, and it's
why did I get it? Why did I get it
Dana.
interrupted?
Talk about it.
Okay.
Dana.
Oh,
What did he
so
say? I had to.
He he
You
I'm
don't
he
want to
walking around for
wasn't
a
know.
here.
second.
He wasn't here
Dana's an
earlier, Dana.
expert.
So
so
don't get
quiet.
him too crazy. He
Okay.
stunt dummied up and said that he was comparable to Malcolm X.
I'll finish. I'll extrapolate. Yeah, he was just as radical. He went to college campuses talking to the youth of his community. Um, and he was killed by his own for different opinions.
Is he
He's
talking about Charlie Kirk or is he talking about
I'm
You
talking
Malcolm
said
about
X?
about
Charlie
Malcolm
Kirk
X.
is comparable to Malcolm X. No
You're
No,
different.
but
He is there.
just
but
don't
this is what
stop.
I'm saying. Like I had stepped away for a minute, but I caught. I was, how you catch stuff in the air or whatever. But um, this is. I mean, listen, it is past midnight, and I guess people got jokes. I'm not in the mood for dumbass fuckery jokes though. Re-ups. Nigga, you knew in the context which we was talking about Malcolm X. Please don't try and think you slick, or people don't catch shit or whatever. So go ahead and finish what you were saying so we can move on to the next speaker. Go ahead and land your plane.
Um, but I won't. If I'm sorry if that messes with anyone delicate sensibilities, but that's just my opinion. I didn't know of anything that happened before I got in here. I apologize, but yeah, that, and I said that to say this about in the comparison. Um, I compare the not the white youth, but the ones crashing out like the young man, Mr. Robinson. I compare them to YCs, right? Young, you could say that word.
Young
Yeah,
crackers,
yeah, there
young
you go.
crackers.
Appreciate that, Pete.
These young
Um,
crackers are a
they're
problem.
they're spinning out of control, and
Talk about it.
they're being radicalized from these different ideologies, like the Charlie Kirks, right? Where they're going to
Oh, y'all
these
ain't heard them.
and they're challenging what they're being taught in their Mormon homes, right? And you leave from that sheltered environment and you go into, say, higher education, and you get around maybe a liberal transitioning person from a different ideology, and that does something to, maybe he's getting a little tush tickled a little bit, spooning, and he spun out. I don't know.
Pause,
And
pause, pause.
well, no pause. That's what happened. What's happened with Mr. Robinson and his partner slash roommate, and this is what's happening with the youth. This is why it was okay, and not like our YNs who are doing it for totally different reasons, right? But because maybe they're being silenced in their homes, being punished and being made to suppress their feelings. So they find their groups or being left to their own devices and given electronics, right? And being radicalized because they're joining these Groyper groups that say, hey, I will rape, kill, and die for Nicholas J. Fuentes, right? And becoming a Groyper. And their mom takes pictures of them, at 15, dressed up as Pepe the Frog on Halloween, and they post it. And you get on the app and on Discord and you talk to these different factions of conservative groups that are radical, right? That are preaching a radical message for whatever their reason is in their community. And they're spinning out. And hence now you have their martyr, their George Floyd, somebody they have to look up to spin out for. No different than say our community. Yes, for different reasons, but I'm just making comparisons so that's those in the back will understand, like Hawk, and or people who listen on anonymous and then advocate for my death because they think I'm advocating against something that just crazy, insane. My own people,
I ain't never
sad,
did no
but
shit like
It be
that.
it be your own
not
people.
you,
It
Big
be your
Hawk,
own people
not you.
sometimes.
But I
It be
mean,
your own people.
that's why I say, reading is fundamental, but comprehension is key. You must listen, right? And this is what's happening with, I think, the YCs too. They're not comprehending what they're listening to, so they just get indoctrinated into crazy ass ideas and conspiracies, and then they make themselves and their community look insane, and that's what's going on.
Appreciate you, re-up. If you have a problem, you just call me and I got your back, brother. All
All
day,
right,
every day.
JV is JV
Can
and is El Hotep. Oh, he's not up here. So JV is
it
next.
with FDS?
Yeah, and thank you for that, Dana. I'm curious to know, Boys Bios Esquire, is that a moniker for the co-host? Because they've been trolling all over the app. I think the consensus is that Boys Bios has been running around pushing a narrative and demeaning black people with this thing. And I'm curious to know why this person is a co-host. Could we tackle that problem?
Boyle Bile is a rabbi from Forest Hill, Queens, and he is a friend of the show and a friend of the community.
So you're not Boys Bios.
Absolutely. I'm Peter. I'm a wicker chair full of kittens.
You in bad company, Data. You're with the other. You're with a stranger is in our house. This Boys Bios guys is in collaboration with this Peter guy, and I'm curious to know why this is happening. Like, is this a black progressive space, or are we in business with a person that's trying to push this anti-Jewish thing? And what is his objective? Do you know that you're in business with the others? Are you aware of that, Dana?
Why you niggas always trying to block somebody? But
JV, have
Wait,
you been
hold on.
drinking?
I'm trying to
Have you been
understand.
drinking tonight?
I'm confused. What is it that you're asking me exactly?
The boys.
Hey, that motherfucking Boyle's character is
I'm
funny.
sorry. JV has the floor. Why is everybody getting off their mic? Unless you have a mental disorder, like you're retarded, everybody should just stay on their mic. So, JV, what is it that you were asking me?
It's a double
Double
mute.
mute, double mute. So apparently the consensus is that this Boys Biles Esquire is Peter, right? And this has been your perpetual co-host. And I'm curious to know what is his objective, because you platform this guy, but he has anti-Black American objectives. He inserts a lot of pro or negative um what is it, Jewish? I don't know, understand the program here. Like, what is happening here? I'm a New Yorker, and Peter
So,
and
what is
boy,
the
hold on.
question? Yeah, are you asking me why am I co-hosting a space with him, being that you feel as though that his bio is anti-black?
No, I'm curious why he's a double agent. Why is he Boys Bios, and why is he Peter at the same time, and why is he platform?
I don't know. So, why are you asking me? You should ask him. I don't know.
Well, you platform that man, so you should actually
No,
tell
I
Dana,
him
know
there's
that,
a
him.
bro.
I
rap.
know him as Peter. I don't know the
But I
other.
told you,
I don't know
he's
the other
Boys Bio.
personality you're talking about.
He's a double
Dana, there's a
agent.
rabbi. There's a rabbi from Queens. His name
Wow.
is Boyle Bile Esquire,
Okay,
and
but
he's a
is he
friend of the.
here? Is he here co-hosting? No, is he?
No, no.
Okay, then.
This is
So
Peter. This is Pittens in a wicker chair.
right. So okay. So this is Peter co-hosting. So I don't know who you're talking about as far as the other person. And if you're saying the other person is Peter, then you should take that up with Peter. I don't care about Peter's other personality.
Oh,
That's
you
not a
don't care?
personality.
Okay, all right, that's
No,
cool.
I don't.
I asked you the
Yeah.
question.
JV,
You
my real
answered. Hold
name
on.
is
I
Eddie
wasn't
I
talking to
can't
you.
Barzoon.
because
I'm talking to
I have
Dana.
no knowledge. Hold on, I have no knowledge of his other personality.
Dana,
His his
I'm
my real
talking to
name is
Dana. I'm
Eddie.
not
Eddie.
talking to you,
His
his
name is
Boyles.
his
my
Boyles. I'm talking.
my name is
his other
Boyles.
identity. His I don't have his other identity. I don't know nothing about. So are
Dana.
you
My
going?
real name is Eddie Barzoon.
Okay,
Eddie
so is he
Barzoon.
talking to you because he doesn't like you, or JV? Are you just gonna are you gonna talk to the topic?
Double
JV, have you
mute.
been
Double
drinking
mute.
tonight?
Double mute. Double mute.
Yeah.
Don't talk about my
Were you
sobriety, brother. I'm talking to Dana.
were you
We're not,
drinking?
brother. We're
Were you
not talking
drinking?
to
Peter, can
boys.
you leave him alone and let
Thank
him
you.
just say what
Thank
he's
you,
going to
boys.
say?
So Dana, you answered the question. I appreciate you for that. I just didn't know that you recognized that this is a double agent. But I appreciate you for answer that. So can I talk to the title? Because now I recognize that you know this is a double agent. So the showdown between Charlie Kirk and George Floyd, is that the question? That you want me to speak to that, Dana?
That is the topic.
Mm. All right, I think it's a larger topic, but the showdown between Charlie Kirk and George Floyd is similar to the showdown between the boy guy, the boy Biles, and the Peter guy. They're they're not the same, and they are antagonistic. And they're trying to create controversy by manipulating people with their position, their identity, and these are double agents. These are people who are problematic. I'm very curious why you're platforming problematic people. This guy is a problem, Dana, and you're platforming this white supremacist piece of shit. And like you're like Dana, like nah, we're gonna look at you a little bit differently now. You have a fucking piece of shit that's in my.
I said, please do not say the F word. Now, are you talking about Charlie Kirk or are we back on talking about Peter? And I could co host, I could entertain, I could co host whoever I want to co host with. I could talk about whatever I want to talk about. I am grown, too grown, honey. And I got 2 kids and 4 grandkids. You're not going to come up here and tell me what you think I should and should not do. You can, but just to let you know, I don't give a fuck. So are you if you're going to direct whatever you're going to direct to Peter, direct it to Peter, get it off your chest so I can move on to the next speaker.
JV, I'll get a message to Bile if you
Dana,
want.
you a grandmother for real?
I have 4. Yeah.
Boyle said Baruch
I have the
Hashanah.
mic. I have the mic, boys. Bio Esquire.
Peace,
I
God.
have the mic,
Peace
boy.
out.
You's a bitch, bro. When I find out where you at, nigga, I'ma hurt you, my nigga. I
Yeah, you
promise you.
tough as hell,
I'ma
bro.
hurt
Yeah,
All
all right.
right. So what we don't do, we don't issue any type of threats up here. We're not doing
I'ma
that.
beat that nigga ass.
I know. Well,
I'd love to see it. I'd
go
love to
find
see
them
it.
and you do it on your own time. Do not promote that up here. I am streaming from YouTube, and no, we do not promote violence and we do not promote threatening people. So thank you, JV, and have a good night. And I don't. It's where's El Hotep? He comes up, drop down, comes up, drop down. Oh, I see talent, and then I just brought up a 999. So go ahead, talent.
Yo,
Dana, these are the types of lunatics also that are lurking in the shadows, and I'm glad to hear that I'm glad that certain
Yo,
people are
Peter, I'ma
listening in the
snuff you
space.
out, my nigga. I promise.
And you ain't gonna
All
do
right,
nothing, bro.
please,
You tough as hell.
JV. I'm
Be
not going to
tough as
say it
hell on the
again.
internet.
Hey,
I
hey,
just,
Twitter. Hey, Twitter
I'm not
man.
going to
Twitter
say it
man.
again,
I'ma find
JV.
you, my nigga. I promise you.
I'm
Come
not
through.
going to say it
All I
again.
want is
And
you to see
Peter,
me.
stop
That's all I want is
responding
you
to
to.
him. Stop responding to him. Drop him down because, again, I think JV, you may be retarded. Do not come up here issuing threats on somebody. Do not come up here talking about what you're going to do to somebody physically. I don't play that. I don't. Maybe Peter plays it, but I don't. And being that I'm up here hosting this along with him, we're not having that. So shut the fuck up about what you gonna do to somebody. Nigga, if you gonna do it, go do it. But you ain't gonna promote that shit up here. Now it's talent, and then I'm gonna go to 999.
yo,
Go ahead, talent. It must be a double mute or something.
damn, it ain't fixed that W yet.
Mm-mm.
Uh, I man, peace and love. Shout out to everybody in here. Oh no, he's not George Floyd for white people. George Floyd for black people represents a long-standing issue when it comes to police brutality and officers often getting off after they kill people. This is something completely different than that. This is political. This is could be a lone wolf or could be a hired hit. This is something that's a little bit more deeper than what I would say the historic aspects of how black people have to deal with, just rabid racism in some ranks of power, especially in like the police force. This seems to be a bit deeper, or it could be, right? I mean, some stuff is being alleged. I'm seeing different apps. I mean, different profiles. Even Candace Owens or Nick Fuentes is alluding to more involvement. There's a bunch of pages talking about maybe there's some stuff with Israel, some big money, other things that happen. Who knows? A lot of people coming out, saying that the story's a little fishy. The kid jumped off the roof, put the gun in his backpack, but then the gun was in his pants pocket. So, I'm not looking at it as face value. I don't necessarily see this like a George Floyd martyring. The system is against the white man. No, I think that this is white on white violence based on white on white issues, based on a left or right, or who knows, it could be Israel and him and deeper things like that. Not saying that stuff that happened to black people ain't deep. It is. It's just historically inaccurate to consider him the George Floyd for white people. Just think that that's maybe more of a political person, possibly, if you wanted to say that, but not George Floyd.
Okay, appreciate that. Um,
So Dana, when I'm going to get in your lineup, I've been here wait for a minute.
Can I
I'm gonna
can I
go
can I give a little pushback
to who?
to the last speaker?
The talent. Go ahead and
Yes,
push back.
please.
Yeah, go ahead, Rios.
And I'll swing back to you, FDA, after I go to 999. Go ahead, re-ups and push
What's that?
back.
He's a martyr for them. Now listen, y'all have to start listening. Maybe it's a difference in whatever their martyr is, martyrism, that word is, right? Why they're trying to put him up on this pedestal. Why we do it, why they're doing it. But it is what it is. He means something for him, for whatever they're fighting for now, because he goes there under the guise of being a good Christian and knowing the word, but then he's how the others, right? No different from them what white supremacy's always done. I'm gonna other it. So to them, that's a figure. That's somebody they could look up to because that DEI and that affirmative action have got all these niggers up here around you, your good benevolent whiteness, and because those now these immigrants are coming in and they're taking a place. So he came in with that. Now they have their movement, bro. They have their martyr. To put you mean got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's what this is to them. I don't know what y'all don't get.
I mean, but
In my
to say that is then to say like George Floyd represented something to us before he died. We didn't know who George Floyd was
so
before he died.
George
So
Floyd don't
no, no,
honestly
no,
don't represent shit to me, right?
no, no. But
He was just
no, I'm just going with your standard. Your standard is Charlie Kirk represented something before he died and he was killed, and now it's being amplified for him to be a martyr. Got it. George Floyd in himself just represents another black person who was killed by the police, but it's not like he specifically existed in a apparatus where we knew who he was and he was killed and that we amplified him higher because he died. So it's just inaccurate to say because we didn't know who he was before he died.
All right. I want to go to 999 FDA, then Empress. Go ahead. 999.
Thanks, Dana. So I just put a video in the Purple Pill about what Charlie was saying right before he was taken down. That video that I just put in the Purple Pill has been erased off of YouTube. And we believe that this video is the reason why he was taken. I just wanted to put that out there. Much love to all of you. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks. Oh, that was it? Okay.
Where's the video?
It should be under 99999 in the Purple Pill. You'll see it. it. So Wait, can you give us a 30-second synopsis of your take on why it was? Well, basically, he's calling out Israel, and he's saying, why was there a 6-hour delay when the parachuters went in and Israel responded? And he's like, was there an official stand down order? You know, he's questioning the whole narrative to Patrick Bet David, and they just erased it off of YouTube. And we're just like, why is there such a concentrated effort to silence this anti-Israel, rhetoric when he's just coming around, he's just realizing what's going on with Israel. And so they just were like, we just can't have this. This is our entire base. This is what we're thinking, but it's all theory, obviously, but there's just enough pattern, to put the puzzle together. So anyway.
So do you wait, hold on really quick as a little follow-up corollary. So do you think that the Israeli government somehow implanted using like a direct energy weapon messages into the shooter's head
Pete,
so that
y'all
he would
gotta
do this?
stop. Y'all are
Yeah,
radicalizing these YCs with all this.
no, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right, Rios. No, I wouldn't go that far, brother. I'm not on the conspiracy side of this thing. The stuff that we do is
So then he was speaking about Israel and then somebody takes him out, but you're not making a direct connection to Israel with the shooter, right?
I would say that Israel is very invested in making sure that their PR is buttoned up pretty tight as far as the Republicans and the conservatives go. I would say that they are vested and very, very hostile to anyone that opposes them. That's what I would say.
But you're saying this was a coincidence that he got shot by this individual, not not an Israel or a Mossad agent directed this individual shooter to kill Mr. Kirk, correct?
No, I absolutely believe that Israel was involved in the killing of Charlie Kirk. I absolutely believe that.
Can you point us to the nexus? Take us through the calculus.
Do you have an hour or two? I mean, my goodness
You
gracious.
give us the cliff notes. Give us 30-second cliff notes.
Man, that wasn't even no real
ready?
body in that casket. This whole shit fake.
No, Peter, it's a good question, man. Ready? So why was there a 6-hour delay?
Why did the Rothschilds set up Israel in 1948 with a bank loan funded?
No,
Radicalization
no,
of
no,
the
no, no, no.
YC.
The shooter. I want to hear about the shooter being directly told to shoot by Mossad or Israel.
No, see, so what I'm doing is I'm walking you down a ladder
Radicalization and
of
socially
evidence
engineering the
stacks up
YC.
in order re-ups. Give me a second, man. In order to make a conclusion that they have a vested interest in making sure that their narrative is not diluted, not changed.
A vested interest doesn't put a firearm into a transgender, a fucking lunatic to go on a roof and shoot a bolt action rifle round into this guy's heart, and it shrapnels and goes into his neck. So come on, man. Get
So
with it. We're in real school here. We're not. Tell me a direct connection based upon your expert analysis of how the shooter was directly told to kill Mr. Kirk from a Mossad agent or an Israeli.
that's not how we do evidence. That's not how we look at evidence. That's not even how we process evidence. We don't process it like
And
that.
now y'all see why Mr. Robinson went up there and wanted to and shoot that
We
man.
process centuries and centuries of evidence. That's how we
Are you
do
a
that.
lawyer? Are you a lawyer, Mr. Nines?
I'm smart enough to make a conclusion off of
Have you ever argued a
deductive
case in a court of law
reasoning.
where you had to put evidence up?
I'm smart enough to make a conclusion based on deductive reasoning.
Okay, fair enough. We're going to move
Pete,
on.
can I ask you
Appreciate you.
something? 20
Go
seconds, 20
ahead,
seconds.
Rio.
Cheers, brother.
Now imagine Mr. Robinson spooning trying to explain that crazy shit that 999 was just trying to walk you through. Not the fuck up the move. It made
All
this
right.
man.
I need
Oh,
who was it? It was FDA, then Empress, and then Nora. Go ahead, FDA.
Eh, yeah, thank you, Dana and Peter. Hey, Peter, very good. I think you was right to challenge that gentleman 999. I think he's a little off there.
I
I
think a
just
lot of
wanted to
people
come.
are drinking tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I really just came back up after listening to that and to confirm why Dana named this way. And I'm actually glad you did. You know, I'm hearing everybody talking about trying to give some. I don't. I think Dana, you was just trying to make a simple acknowledgement that the white people needed something to celebrate. Okay, they needed something, and I don't believe that prior to we finding out who the shooter was, I was on Spaces. Everybody was about to say it was the transgender, it was the leftists, you know, it was the Democrats and everything. I think everybody was surprised to find out that it was this Tyler Robertson from the home of a white ring mega and everything. And once they realized that, I think they took the opportunity to go ahead and windmill for this thing to build what they were trying to do in the colleges in the first place is to raise up their movement for white. Uh, and I'm a conservative, and I'm a conservative the whole time, but I do believe that they were specifically they doing everything they doing as you this title to windmill for Charlie as their George Floyd. And I'm not saying George Floyd was is the best representation, but we do all know that our demographics as young people were very moved by what took place with George Floyd. Not saying that he was a hero prior to that. We only talking about the emotional spin that George Floyd did, which I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, Breonna Taylor as well, all that. It was the windmill for our demographics of people, and this now Charlie Kirk is the windmill for white people to do what they're looking to do, what they feeling to do for the next election moving forward. So I wanted to thank you, Dana, for bringing this up. It's just that simple. Am I right, Dana? It was just a simple analogy what you're doing. You're not trying to. You're not. We wasn't trying to do it like like George Floyd was all that. You just saying it's the windmill for white people to use Charlie Kirk. And was that basically it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So good spot. I appreciate it. And Peter, appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And it's good to see you, re-up, and all of y'all. And y'all take care. I got to go to bed. It's after 1 now.
All right, have a good night. Thank you so
Good
much.
night. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you.
We have Empress and Nora.
I'm gonna let Shock G go next, and then if you want to get to
Well,
Nora, and
Shock
then I'll
G
go
already
after those
spoke,
two.
so we're gonna go to Nora. If you don't want to speak right now, we're gonna go to Nora. He already spoke.
And then give me after Nora.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead,
Okay.
Nora. Oh, she went.
Nora dropped. I'm inviting her back up. What
Oh,
about Rev? Rev, you ready yet?
Hey, listen, 20 seconds, man. I got a correlation to why he's George Floyd, right? We looking at it wrong. I sat down and thought about it. He's their George Floyd if the people that don't like Charlie Kirk continue to make the memes. It's all about the memes. Whenever a white person gets on your nerve, you throw up a meme of Charlie Kirk, like they do George Floyd. That's the only correlation I could see is the meme game. We didn't look at that. That's what makes him George Floyd. If you continue to troll them with the neck memes and all that. I don't know if anybody else can agree, but that's the correlation. It's the meme game. Other than that, you know who I think he correlates to in the black liberation movement. And I'm a land right there. But that meme game, that's it. We just keep on posting them memes when they get on our nerves. They gonna hate it. Like they kept doing that with George, and George got a family. Now I'm gonna land my plane. All right.
go ahead, Nora.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dana, for hosting this space. This has been a really great space. But I mean, I think the name says it for itself. It is a turning point right now in America. Nothing is as it seems with this investigation. So I think any theory actually will stick. I know you guys were kind of dismissive of the other gentleman that was up here. Unfortunately, again, nothing is as it seems. The shooter that they have, coincidentally, is refusing to speak. He's refusing to give information. Now we hear about this transgender girlfriend, lover, whoever they live, roommate, whatever they lived with. So it's like layers keep getting added on, I think, to confuse us, to distract us. And it is interesting. We are at a turning point. Where do you go as a Black conservative, I think, right now in the space? Some of the things that I've seen from both sides has been pretty disgusting. And I think we are at a turning point in the sense of any little thing is kind of like a powder keg in this country. I will say I'm proud of conservatives for, having the memorials be peaceful. So thank God for that. However, it is a scary time, I think, because there's so much confusion. And I think that there is something hoping to divide us even further as a nation. So I'm going to land my plane with this. Think to yourself, where do you want to land? Where are your ideologies? I don't support cancel culture, and I feel like unfortunately we're going in that direction with this list that they're disseminating. However, I also don't support as if you call yourself a human being and caring, supporting someone that got gunned down in front of their family and celebrating it. But I think people should have freedom of speech, and I land there.
Thank you, Nora. Are we good, Peter? Or you want to continue to keep going?
I'll keep going if
Am
you
I
want. I
next?
could run it.
Am I
Yeah,
next?
Oh, go ahead, Empress.
Empress,
Yes, go ahead, Empress.
Empress, how are you?
Hello, my gorgeous boy and beautiful dragon lady. How are you?
I
I
Yeah,
can't
am.
call it. I might spoil it.
she's talking to me, Peter. The fuck?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, your birthday doesn't fall on Dragon, honey. Stop.
That's all right. You still my cutie pie. I want you to know much Detroit love and support for you. We embracing you. Happy wonderful early birthday season. I always wish everybody happy birthday a month before and a month thereafter because you're never ever limited to one day. Life is a blessing. You're going to have good times, bad times. It's a constant learning experience, regardless of your age or your demographics. When I come into a space, I come into a space from a spiritual level. And so when I communicate, I'm going to always communicate from a spiritual and sometimes numerology and astrological. If that is something somebody don't agree with, that's your problem. But this is, if ever you hear me, that's what I come in, starting off. Now, Rooster is what this gentleman was. Libra Rooster at that. So that's Libra versus the Virgo energy. And this is the Virgo season. Now, with this being the year of the snake, snakes and rooster pretty much trying each other because that's Taurus versus Virgo. Definitely compatible. However, a rooster crows and makes all kinds of sounds that irritates most people in the morning, and on a good day will keep you up at night. Roosters' words can be like a whip being cracked, and it's something you'll never forget. Don't care who the rooster is, many people don't like either male or female when they speak because it's spiritual and it cuts deeper than a razor. When it's channeled properly, it can free you in knowledge. This man, unfortunately, put in an atmosphere of hostility, and he was praised for his words, providing it didn't go against the ideal wing. It's not about a Republican or a Democrat thing. I took time because I really wasn't into him. I heard of the name, but never followed because the name alone spiritually didn't resonate for me to take time to follow. But I took time to listen to quite a few clips, different platforms. And what I looked at, the energy of Gemini was waning, going into the energy of Taurus, given that snake, the double-edged sword, in balance. I watched that when the killer was found, the moon had gotten into Taurus. The shock was having the band-aid ripped off because immediately you accuse the Black community, the Hispanic and migrant community of guaranteed to be at fault. When if you look at that video and you study it well, you didn't see a high population of no blacks. You didn't see a high population of East Indians, Hispanics. That's not to say that it was none there, but you didn't see 100, 200, 300, 400. You didn't see that. So instinctively, from a spiritual point, I asked the Spirit to reveal to me what is the purpose in all of this and what lesson is meant to learn. And the old cliche came to me, something that my grandmother continues to say, and she's 101, double doctorates. Her sister is 105. double doctorates as well. Also been a judge before for a good 55, 56 years, give or take. Be careful in life who you speak against. Be careful in life who you thumb your nose up, because sometimes the very one you speak against continuously, God will bring his wrath when he see fit, however that may be. And what it also began to teach me is the lack of concern for the Black community in terms of when you find out who is the killer, now you want to have people locked up. You want people to lose their jobs, be kicked out of a school. When they ask, what about the white on white crimes? Now you get into your real emotional feelings that you done started going to different Black platforms, threatening these people, threatening their children when they have to do with this. You'll send racial emails as though you're so bold not to realize that you can be sued for defamation of character. Whether or not somebody is glad to see another human being in general demise, that's something God deals with. When justice arrives, the Bible tells you not to make a mockery of it. However, anybody do in the privacy of their home, that's their business. I don't encourage anybody. But I will also say, I thought it was beyond disrespectful that you've continued to mock George Floyd, and you even send threatening letters continuously, even into September currently, to his adolescent child. So no, he is not George Floyd, never, because Mr. Kirk's words was is that George Floyd never ever died from Mr. Chauvin putting his knee on this man's neck and holding it. We all got a chance to watch that. Look at the face of a demon that had no regards. And so when the community turned up nationwide, it sent a clear message that no one is going for it. That's why they had to give that man time. It was a time, according to Mr. Kirk, in the 40s, he said Blacks was in better control because they were suppressed. And in the time of segregation, that was during my grandmother's time and era when she was having her children. I don't have to agree with none of his speech because, see, his time of judgment is already happened. My thing I will say, when you mistreat the least and you make mockery, God always has the final say. And it's not to say that I'm saying that the final say will always be in death. No, I'm not saying that, nor am I implicating that. See, however God handles something, you don't never know when he gonna strike. But when he does, he may not do nothing to you. But the Bible says, when you have done it to the least of mine, so have you done it to me. I may not punish you, but I'll punish your kids and their kids down to the seventh and 12th generation for your very transactions. Now, some people, they don't care about that. In closing, I will say this: there's going to be enormous amount of lawsuits on this matter because you don't have a right to tell anyone what they can and cannot say in the privacy of their home or on their property. I can respect if you're on a job, you should not say anything against anyone. But naturally, the racism, you want to get somebody fired or kicked out of a school just to show I'm white and I say so. And you're not above God. That's obvious. I watch continuously, even this morning, with them showing on different MSNBC, CNN. So many say he never said a harmful word, and then they show multiple audios of this man saying, even into September 7th, 8th, and 9th, about women, about transgenders. Um, that was horrible. It wasn't right. But this is what they paid this man to say, because many of them know that they would lose their jobs and would be able to be under a national boycott. So they'll pick the so called image of a martyr. They're treating this man like he was Christ when he's never been. He tells you that out of his own words that he was not Jesus. I've even seen images of this man on different platforms where they will put that used to be Tupac's picture sitting by the owner of Death
Empress,
Row
you have to start
Records.
landing, honey. It's getting late. So
Oh, yeah, well, common sense is late. I'm on Eastern time, but I found out late. But the moral in the end of story, since magically everybody's tired and they want to go to sleep, is that I seen this man's picture imitating Tupac in the car with the owner of Death Row. I don't forget his name, but the moral of it is you making this man to be higher than what he is. But what I am glad at knowing is that you cannot blame the Democratic Party, and I'm not for Democrats, and I'll never be for Republicans. It's in your own household. Sometimes a snake will turn on its own self, and this is what has happened. You found out that this man was born, raised in a conservative household, ideals, a follower of nothing but the Republican Party. So it's interesting. October, Dana, is going to be a hell of a year for you to see. You're going to start to feel that energy of the horse. Horse is Gemini. You ain't seen nothing yet. But we'll talk soon. I want to give you some specific dates, and then I want to bet you on who knew it best.
yeah, please message me. Hopefully it's all good stuff that's coming up. So um yeah. Um the black, the men's and bread man. Is the black still up here?
I don't even see the black. I just see bread.
I don't see men's either. Okay. Go ahead,
Bread was
Brendan.
cracking.
What's the damn deal? What's up, Dana?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Salute to the panel. Salute to the space. I'm gonna try to keep it short. Um, we can't compare Charlie Kirk to George Floyd because George Floyd respectfully had no movement. He was a victim of police brutality. He died by the hands of the government, right? people that was supposed to be protecting and serving, live at 5 in front of all of us to see. There is no comparison. But I pulled up some people you could compare his death to. Um, Jeff Hall, a regional leader of the National Socialist Movement, a neo-Nazi organization. Hall was shot and killed by his 10-year-old son in 2012. The murder occurred in Riverside, California, after the boy stated he was tired of his father hitting him and his stepmother. Uh, Again, he was killed by his son. I feel like Charlie Kirk was killed by his son. That was a young man that was raised in the Mormon lifestyle. That's what a lot of people don't want to tell you. He was a born, devout Mormon. Um, that's why the sheriff was up there talking about we hope he wasn't one of our own. We was hoping he wasn't one of our own, because this means now that they have to fight. And you'll get to see as this case goes on. It's not as cut and show close as y'all think it's gonna be. I believe it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a showdown, because this young man is Mormon. So he was primed and ready in the extremist lifestyle. And then when he got away from home, he was ignited. It's like mixing two different gases together that brought you a spontaneous combustion. And that's what happened to that young man, if we can all agree that that young man is the killer. I try not to get into the conspiracy theories. The last thing that I'm going to say is he's also a martyr, but you have to pay attention to who he is a martyr to. He is a martyr to not the white supremacist, but the white degenerate nation. And also, if you just open up your eyes, a lot of these marches that are going on, they start out as visuals, and later in the night, they burning crosses, they lynching people in the Idaho Capitol steps. Yes, they're screaming white man fight. They got torches in their hand, they got masks over their face, they got hoods on their head. Where have we seen this before? Yes, he is a martyr. And the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna land with, they are on the verge, right? The turning point. They're on the fine line and tinkering and playing with fire of being a hate group, a terroristic group. Because once the bodies, a lot of people will argue that they're a hate group now. Just watch how they're moving. But once these bodies start to fall, they don't understand, like, the mainstream white supremacy is just it's the heartbeat for the most degenerate. So while they thinking that they, in masses, they're gathering numbers and they doing their damn thing, they understand. I ain't gonna say they don't understand. They understand that they are also gathering sectors, right, to violently act on the rhetoric that they are preaching and spewing. So they know what they're doing. So I would say that yes, Charlie Kirk is a martyr to the white supremacist community, and his group, the Turning Point, the foundation, the organization that he worked so hard to create, is on the verge of not only being a certified hate group, but a terroristic group. Once these bodies start falling and retaliation start getting enacted by some of the most extreme. With that, I yield.
All right. Um. Okay. Now I see men's requesting. We're gonna start winding down. Well, men's dropped. Is he up? Wait, I don't get it. Okay, men's
I
is a
just brought him
speaker.
up.
Go ahead, men's, and I see Dolo request again. Can you bring Dolo up, and then I'm gonna shut it down because I'm getting tired. Well, I'm already
Sure.
tired.
What's up, Dana? Good night.
Hey, I'm in.
Uh, how you doing?
Good.
Um, yeah. So, some people have said it already. No, he's not. He's not the George Floyd for white America. In fact, he's just a pawn for all sides of white America, and in a different way, a pawn for the black people who are also aligning with this whole selective outrage. Because I think that Americans have been numb, regardless, to all of the visions, pictures portray, of all war, what I'm saying, casualties, what I'm saying, bodies everywhere, and then our very own who've been killed for much less, children, women, and elders, everybody. Like we've seen this. Assassinations is not new, and this is all nothing but political for a certain side of the people that's like really trying to force us to analyze how we should feel about it, like as if we don't actually have any value of life, and they don't. It's actually very irrational behavior to expect us and for us to even really truly believe that these people have this deep feeling about what happened to this guy when you have countless many others who have been killed for much less. You're numb to that. It's yeah, you don't feel right about anybody dying, but you're not going to react the same way because this is the a condition, and they don't acknowledge that. And but that's it's not that they don't acknowledge it. It's really again a strategy. You know what I'm saying, for them to further make statements and tie the people they already hate. It's just another tally. You know what I'm saying? For various reasons. Oh, you're a liberal, the liberals did it, so you're black by association and liberal and all that bullshit, which is not true for most of us. But then it's, it's the, these weird people who want DEI and they tie into that. And then it's, oh, he was going to be the next president. It's all politics, and then, of course, you have the racist people that's just like, yeah, they're all together, and they're somewhere responsible. So guilty by just facades of association, because we're not associated with those communities. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, no, it's not George Floyd, man. This is just another chess piece that they're using to control the narrative and make a problem that doesn't truly exist.
Appreciate you, man. Um, Dolo, you requested to come back up, and so did Big Hawk. So was this something? Can y'all just say something like in under a minute?
Yeah, I'm going to be quick. I would just quick reminder, everybody, just stay educated on crypto with all these confusions. There's still a lot of big things going on in that universe of the financial sector. So everybody just make sure you stay informed.
Okay. And
Great advice.
Big Hawk.
Yeah, I wanted to know who dropped me.
I don't know. It probably.
Yeah, that was Peter's ass. Okay.
Um,
All right, Mr. Peter. Nah, but anyway, I just wanted to say something, right? It might be a little controversial, but you got to consider that in this type of climate, because what I look at is I look at the back end of things, and on the front end, of course, them rallying and doing all of this, especially in the military, and giving accolades that I mean, but then you let veterans be homeless and all this other kind of weird, crazy shit, right? Um, what they're doing is quite dangerous. I mean, I know. I mean, he got he got hit, right? But it just seems like that. It don't seem like that was his body in that casket, and this could all be fake, just for them to maneuver and take our damn civil liberties and to get the base riled up over some, these kids. But I mean, look at it. His own target audience targeted him. That's the price of admission. But this guy
How
was a
would they
puppet.
take your civil liberties?
But look, this dude is a puppet. I mean, because he had millions of dollars, Turning Point USA, of these billionaires to protect their interests through rhetoric. It makes sense.
So wait, Big
Either
Hawk, you think the shooting was a squib and to come the blood out of his neck was a squib like movie style? What do you talk about that?
no,
That's a possibility. I'm not against that, but I just want to know how's this all tied? How's this tied to taking civil liberties? Like, explain
So
that to
well,
me.
how it's
let,
tied to that is what will happen is they'll ratchet up the heat. More attacks will happen. The people will then clamor for safety to go back to when things were normal again and safe. And then the government is going to say, well, we have to be able to look up your rear end 24/7. We need to monitor all your transactions. You want to speak on the internet, you have to upload your ID. The same as what they're doing in the EU and the UK right now.
and this
Yeah,
is
but
what's happening.
that's not an infringement on your civil liberties. That's all options. That's not infringement on your civil liberties. That's something they're already doing. That's infringement on, like, basically surveillance and privacy. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
infringement. Oh
You
yeah,
don't.
No,
privacy.
no,
That's
no,
a
no,
civil
no,
So
no, no.
liberty.
so you don't have
Where
to.
it goes,
You don't have to use the internet.
no, where it
You know what I'm
goes
saying? You
from the
don't have to
government.
use any
No, the
technology
government.
if you don't want to.
No, the government using powers like the army and stuff like that to silence you is no, that's unheard of. So where this
Silence.
go?
Who? How can anyone be silenced? Like,
Look,
explain that.
where this goes,
They're gonna shoot you in the head. You saying this is gonna turn into a fucking?
it might get
What
to
what
that.
if what did you see the truckers up in Canada when they were speaking out? They debanked them and took their ability to have their own money away. You don't
Do
think
you
that's
feel like
on the horizon?
do you feel like any of these threats are new?
Yeah,
Do you feel?
I think the capability and the mechanisms that they have are very acute now, and they didn't have the same acuteness years ago. And the ability to do it is like clockwork right now.
No,
And that's what I'm.
it's only because of the advancement of technology. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So you agree with me that they do have it.
But that's no means any infringement on your civil liberties.
Why not? Why is it's a
Because
What
you
does
place?
the Fourth
because
Amendment say?
It's a
what does the
place.
Second Amendment say?
Come on, but they do
They
these
are
in
infringing on
increment.
that too.
They're
What,
doing
no,
this in increments, man. They're not
where?
doing this all at
What?
once.
What's the Second
In
Amendment? What's the
in
purpose
New
of the Second
Jersey, they
Amendment? Right?
limited your magazine capacity so that you could only have 10 rounds in a magazine. In New Jersey, they used to have it so it wasn't shall issue. It was by the police chief's decision whether he wanted to let you even carry a firearm. We're lucky we have
So
the Supreme Court we have for them to push back against these cocksuckers with every fucking thing they've taken. They got some set of balls.
so you telling me that 100% of cases where people have had exceeded, any regulations, that they have not been able to beat it in Supreme Court?
They haven't. We
No,
just
no. Are you
literally
saying 100%
of what specifically?
of any case where there's any violation of a state regulation?
Sir, they
I
just made
can't
it,
say
they
I
just
can't say everything. You're
criminalized,
you're being ridiculous by saying every
Oh,
single
well,
thing
what? It's a
comprehensively.
rational question.
they
Like,
just
that's what you want, 100%
criminalized
or
you
not?
boycotting a certain demographic in a certain group of people. Did you
What's
hear about
coming
that?
now is what we see in the CCP. They're trying to
And
institute
so
that
how
here.
so how so tell me, how's this new?
Wait, that's not
They're
new. Them
we're talking
making
about
a
what they're
law to where
doing.
you can't
Okay, so now he
boycott
says
them.
that's not new. So how does Charlie Kirk in any way is going to
This is the
encourage
catalyst, the
or
same way that
inflame?
9/11 was the catalyst for the Patriot Act. This is the
It
catalyst
was
that
a cast for the
begins.
Patriot Act, yes, but the Patriot Act wasn't new either. It was reenacted through 9/11.
What are you
You know what I'm
talking about? The
saying?
Patriot
Because
Act was new and novel for after 9/11.
no
Look it
man,
up.
no man, it was reenacted, and it
The
was
Patriot
basically
Act
terrorist.
created. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're
Do you
talking
know what the
about. The
Patriot Act was?
Patriot Act
It's a
Yeah, he
enacted
terrorist
talking about it, but
KYC.
it under new
Right.
technology.
See, he doesn't
Yeah.
know what he's talking about. See, you asked me if I don't know what I'm talking about. You obviously need to go look it up. The Patriot
What
Act
do
is
you?
not something that was new. The Patriot Act actually existed. It was a terrorist watch prior to that, and they basically use that so they can now tap your phone. They had fucking phone taps a long time ago. That was
You don't
nothing
know
new.
what you're
They
talking
utilized that
about.
before.
The
They utilized
Patriot
that in the
Act.
Watergate. Do you remember the Watergate?
The Patriot Act expanded what was called KYC and AML compliance. It created further entrenchment by FinCEN, the bank
Now
secrets.
listen to the word you just said. You said further, which means
Yes,
that
it
if something existed prior,
it
correct?
was not as comprehensive as it was with the Patriot Act.
So
You
they
know
made
what?
something that
You know
already
what?
existed more
You know
comprehensive.
what, Men's? You're right.
Thank
You're
you.
right. You're
Thank you.
right. You got it,
Right.
bro. You know more than
Yeah.
I do. Absolutely, you
No,
got it.
I never. Well, if you want to give me, that's fine. Shit, I don't know what you know, but I
Well,
know
look,
what I know
I
in this
just want to
specific
say in
subject matter.
closing,
So,
right? Let me say this in closing, because either it's a dead body in that motherfucking casket, or it's a fake damn body in that casket. Either way, they're using this to further their sick agenda. And so that's what we got to understand.
Do you know what the purpose of the Constitution is?
Well, teach me, master. You know it all. Tell me.
To limit the powers of the government. What you're essentially saying is that they're going to basically no longer abide by the Constitution. The Constitution has been the same. There's only one particular amendment that was changed, and that was to do prohibition. You talk about something that has literally never happened, and is
Meds,
like,
tell me about Presidential Directive 51.
what about it?
What is it?
What about it? What about it? What about it?
What
What about
is
it?
it? What is
What
it?
about it? What
I'm
about it?
asking you, do you know what it is?
What about it? Save time. What about it?
I'm asking you, do you know what it
What
is?
about it?
Do you,
What about it?
does it
What
allow
about
for
it?
the does it
Next
allow
question.
for the does it allow for the president to suspend parts of the Constitution?
Yes, but it does not solely allow the president. See, that's where you make the mistake. It doesn't solely allow the president. It has to actually be agreed upon by another level. I believe the Supreme Court judges. They have to two bodies. It has to go through two levels of votes before. So a president can't just act it out. So you need to go read it.
I'm going to read it right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Presidential
shit, Jesus.
Presidential Directive 51, officially known as the National Security and Homeland Security Presidential Directive, was signed by President George W. Bush on May 4th, 2007. It establishes a comprehensive policy for maintaining federal government structures and operations during a catastrophic emergency defined as any incident, regardless of location, that results in extraordinary levels of mass casualties, damage, or disruption of severely affecting the U.S. population, infrastructure, environment, economy, or government functions. The directive outlines continuity requirements for executive branch departments and agencies, defines national essential functions, and provides guidance for state, local, territorial, and tribal governments, as well as private sector organizations. It designates Homeland Security Advisor as the National Continuity Coordinator, responsible for overseeing the
So
development and
what does that
implementation.
mean? What is right there? What does that mean? That means
It,
the
it,
president can't make any decision until another body actually agrees that this is what needs to happen. The president can't just act that out by himself.
The directive replaced President Bill Clinton's 1998 presidential decision directive 67 and was partially declassified, with its unclassified portion posted on the White House website May 9, 2007 without public announcement or press briefings. However, Special Assistant Gordon John Droe addressed press inquiries about it in early 2007. Critics, including conservative activist Jerome Corsi and Marjorie Cohen of the National Lawyers Guild, have argued that the directive violates the U.S. Constitution by allowing the executive branch, through the president, to coordinate the other two branches, which are meant to be separate and equal. The directive grants the president the authority to declare a catastrophic emergency, but does not specify who has the power to terminate such a declaration. I will land there because it's late. We could get into it in the next space. I urge you to read it, but again, I yield to you because you sound like you're much more knowledgeable on this than I am.
Damn.
Mims is a dumbass. Anyway,
You're a bigger dumbass. Anyway,
Dana, this was an amazing space tonight, I have to say.
it was good. It was long. I'm tired. I took my magnesium pill so I could get a nice sleep because I have to get my whole 8, and sometimes I add an extra 2 hours.
We have another speaker that came in with the last minute, Maya Liza.
She's up here. Well,
Say,
Minge, you want to
Dana,
reply?
can
Minge, you want to reply?
yeah, yes, thank you. Thank you. The director does not override the Constitution. The president cannot cancel elections, suspend Congress, or bypass judicial review. It requires cooperation among all three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial, to maintain enduring constitutional government. Much of the directive remains classified, which fuels speculation and concern about unchecked executive authority. This has never ever been acted out by solely the president, and never will be. So yeah, you read all of that and literally validated, because you obviously need to look into what these words mean, like contingency and all of that, like what's the requirements to, and like, yeah, I thank you for that. That if I'll consider that a compliment, because it's true anyway in this case, in this particular subject matter. Maybe in another conversation you can what I'm saying, exude your intelligence, but this is not it right here. So anyway, since this is a right or wrong thing, Dana, thank you.
Appreciate you, Mins. Go ahead, Maya.
Damn.
And before Maya goes, we also know that because it never happened, it can never happen in the future, similar to what happened with COVID. But yeah, Maya, go ahead. Maya, you're up. We brought you up at the 11th hour. We want to hear you speak.
Yeah, because we're
We're
about
we're
to get up
thirsty
out of
for
here.
your
So
we're thirsty for your wisdom and knowledge, Maya.
I think your explanation.
What's going on?
Maya,
And
how
what
are you?
and
I
how
was speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you? It's a little muffled and far away. Can you speak closer to the receiver?
All right. I'll just catch you guys on the next
No, no,
time.
we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, because I think you're upset, Peter, with men's and
I'm not. I feel great. I want to hear what you have to say. I love you. Welcome.
let's end on a good note. Dana, say something like you always do,
what?
and let's
I
leave
said
on
I
a
took
good
my
note.
magnesium pills, and so it helps.
Dana's on cloud nine right
No,
now.
well,
She's
you know
ready to
what
go.
magnesium doesn't get you high. Magnesium helps you sleep, and it helps with your body. I take it at night so that my body, because your body works at night, the inside. So I take it so it could work more. It helps you sleep, it helps with information, all that stuff. So, and I need my 8 to 10 hours, and then I do a full 8. Sometimes I add an extra 2. So yeah, but did you want to say anything to the topic, Maya, or you just was copping in to say hello?
Well, I'm gonna say goodbye right now, but catch you in the next space. But thanks, because I really like listening to your show, and it seems like most people here are not really fixated in their thinking, and everybody seems like they're trying to grow. So that's a positive thing. And belittling people is not going to help the situation. You want people on your side. At any rate, I'm going to go.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you.
I really appreciate everybody that came up to speak. Shout out to everybody on YouTube that hung out with us for the whole night. That's in the chat, but that chat will not be left up. But everyone that came up on X to speak, I'm saying on YouTube, on X to speak, to all the speakers, appreciate you guys, and everybody listening, appreciate you guys more. And everybody have a wonderful week. Most likely, as of right now, yes, the judge will have his space on Tuesday. And have a great week. Be safe. And
and can I get co-host on the next show?
nigga, hell no. And I'm not
That's
trying to end
fucked
my
up,
I'm
bruh.
not trying to end my space with a nigga talking or me saying that. So let me just reset, because it's always a nigga that just want to say something out loud just to be saying shit. So anyway, everybody have a blessed week. Whatever religion you are, have a blessed week. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and take it one day at a time. Think positive, and we'll see you on Tuesday. So whether the judge here, we did say this, Peter, whether the judge is available on Tuesday or not, we'll still do a space on Tuesday. So yeah. So we'll see you back here on Tuesday. And you can follow me on YouTube at The Real Dana on YouTube. Anything you want to say, Peter?
No, I think tonight was a very cathartic space. We really healed a lot of the racial divide, and I think that it's going to be a wonderful week ahead. And I think that everybody should come back Tuesday night. We're going to get back into it with some controversial topics, but we're also going to learn and grow from each other. And I'd like to just thank our sponsor. Tonight's show was sponsored by Glock 19. It's the official firearm of the show.
Well, that's your
Glock.
sponsor. That's not the sponsor. That's not my sponsor. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. Well, for my sponsorship of the show, it's Glock 19. Um, and yeah, I love
My
everybody, and
sponsor
I'll see.
tonight is Malcolm X Ballot or the Bullet. Go read it and go listen to it. And with that, everybody have a wonderful week and stay black. Bye.